Yeah, that's terrible.
You met her online prior to her coming to your house?
Yes.
How did you meet her online?
At the time, she was doing like vegan recipes and yoga, and she was with another herbalist at the time. She wasn't in carbonation. She was with another herbalist, and so we would just be on there with the recipes and the readings.
What kind of readings?
Like psychic readings.
Okay, is that something she was doing?
Yes.
Okay, you had her do that for you?
Yes.
Okay. And so,
At the time when she came to stay with me, she had given me one reading before.
okay, all right. And so she stayed with you for a few months. Did you guys stay in contact after she left?
Yes.
How did you stay in contact? By phone, social media?
Well, phone and social media.
Okay. So to jump forward, in March of 2022, did she reach out to you after that day?
Yes.
Okay. What did she reach out to you about?
Coming to get her from Atlanta, from Nature Boys. She left Nature Boy's house, and I was gonna come get her, or either see if I can get them to work out their issues. So she was either gonna stay, they were gonna work it out and stay, or she was gonna come back with me. But I wasn't aware that she was back with him until then, because when I asked her to leave my home, I just assumed maybe she went home or whatever. I didn't know she was gonna go back, because she came to me because she was needing to be rescued from the situation with him.
Okay. That's what she told you?
Her mom.
Okay. All right. And so she told you that she wanted you to come pick her up, and she wanted you to fix things between her and Eligio Bishop.
Yes, she gave me his number.
Okay.
And had me to call him.
Okay, and this was after March 24th, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall giving me a screenshot of a phone that you took from March the 28th of 2022?
Yes.
Okay. Was that a picture that you took of your phone?
Yes.
And did you give that to me yourself?
Yes.
And the picture that you gave me, has it been edited or modified in any way?
No.
Okay. Judge, I have no way to show her because she's on Zoom. I don't know if the state's going to have an objection, but I would move to tender the picture that she's giving me of her phone that she's described as Defense Exhibit 2.
Judge, if I can just see the exhibits he intends to admit. Okay. I don't have an objection.
No objection?
Well, once foundation's been, I guess it's.
How are you gonna lay the foundation?
I have no way of showing it to her, Judge. I mean, she identified the picture. I'm not sure what else foundation the court's asking for.
There's some numbers on the top of the page. Maybe if she can authenticate that number, who it's going to, who it's coming from.
Okay. The picture that you provided me had a phone number at the top. It also has,
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
and it also has two messages on there, and they're both sent March 28, 2022 at 12:45 p.m. Do you recall who that phone number belonged to?
Eligio.
Okay, and was it a phone number that was given to you by Miss Emmanuel?
Yes.
And did you use that phone number that's at the top to reach out to him, and he replied to you with a text?
No, what happened was I called him, then we talked, Then when the phone hung up, that's the text he texted back saying that they would call me back.
Okay,
But I had talked to him.
okay. So you actually spoke to Mr. Bishop,
Yes,
and this was on, and was it through this 939 number that's at the top?
yes.
Okay, Judge, I think she's identified the photograph. I think the foundation's been laid.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay, go ahead.
And I've marked that as defense exhibit, I believe, too.
Defense 2?
I believe so.
Okay,
One word messages for the detective.
all right.
I moved it to the statement defense exhibit 2. Is it admitted? And I think you already have.
It sounds like there was no objection, and it's admitted.
Okay, and so that message includes communication that you communicated with Mr. Bishop. There was a text that was sent, but you had not communicated with him before, correct?
Not until she gave me his number. Any other times they've ever gotten into it, I've never been able to talk to him. She's never wanted me to. She would handle it on live or Vigo or whatever she would do, but she's never like went as far as to give me his number. This was the first time.
Okay, and that was on March 28, 2022, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Did you continue to text with her throughout 2022? Were you and her on friendly terms?
For a little bit we were. Basically until I got ready, we stayed in contact because I was trying to get help because she had asked me to gather money for her and go to my social media and ask people to help her because she needed to start over again.
Okay.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on.
And then at some point, did things
Hold
fall off
on.
after that? Did you not help her? Or what happened?
Breaking news. Breaking news. My Cash App is not correct. My Cash App is not correct. We need to fix that right now.
He dropped out of it and said that he didn't no longer want to be.
Ask for a refund, please.
He kept asking him for money. He said that since he had never met her before, that he didn't feel comfortable and he no longer wanted to be involved. And then with me, at first I was really on the gas about coming because she had told me that she had gotten jumped on. So I was trying to come for that. So I called someone that lives in Atlanta through Facebook and asked could he and his wife keep her there until I could come get her. We were just trying to find ways. And then he gave me a shelter to give to her. But we were trying to make more of an emergency out of it to where she could get the help. And so that's when it turned into conversation where, I was like, well, you could say he hit you, or different things that women, use to get in the shelters and stuff, when they get into it with their spouses. We were trying to go that route, and then we decided not to go that route, and just that she would wait. So I was under the assumption I paid for a couple of days for a room for her, and I sent her money to eat until I could come get her.
Okay, but you never.
And so, go ahead.
You never came to get her, though?
No.
Okay, all right. And did you do any type of online, like FaceTime with her or Zoom calls or anything with her where you could see her around that time?
No, we just kept talking back and forth. The main thing, we kind of had a little bit of a rough spot when she did give me his number to call. She was telling me not to be. She was saying he's a.
Hold on.
I'm gonna object to hearsay and relevance.
Response.
I would just ask her not to respond with that.
Okay.
What she said.
Don't talk about what she said or what anybody else said, okay?
Oh, between her and I?
Correct. If you find yourself
Okay.
wanting to say, she told me, you can't do that.
Okay.
But you guys,
Okay.
you guys had a rough spot. There was a time that there was a disagreement. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is that when the relationship kind of ended?
No, actually, we just wouldn't text, but I was always there. So, I actually sent her sea moss and tea, and after
This
her
should be
pregnancy
admissible under a
announcement, she
hearsay
sent me
exception.
pictures of her, when she was having a virtual baby shower and things like that.
What year did
So
did she
we
have
was,
the
we
baby?
was still talked all the way until 2023.
Okay. And when did she have the baby? Do you know?
I don't know, cause actually that's when after that baby shower, I did totally, disconnect with her, and I would just talk to her mother.
Okay.
And
And
so the last I talked to her mother was, Christmas, when I asked her how was she enjoying her new grandbaby.
and Christmas of 2022 or 2023?
This one, this past.
Okay. So within the last 3 months, you've been in contact with her or her family?
Yes,
Okay. And in fact, in 2022, there were additional messages here we're not going to put in, but there were messages between you and her where she wished you happy Mother's Day and things like that, correct?
yes,
Okay. And your communication with her was friendly. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
And you said after she had her baby, you sent her gifts. Is that also true?
No, I was, but I didn't. No, after the baby shower,
Yes, sir.
the virtual baby shower, that's when we disconnected and I just dealt with her mother.
Okay. And does her mother live in the United States?
Yes,
Okay. And during 2019 and 2020, did you communicate with her during those years also?
yes.
Okay. Did you ever see pictures of her during that time frame?
Of Jeanette?
Yes.
Yeah, we're Facebook friends, and then I was Facebook friends with her mother as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Cross?
No questions, Judge.
All right, thank you. You're free to go, Ms. Wilson. Thank you. All right, call your next witness.
I'm gonna step outside.
Okay.
Is it me or does this judge hate Nature Boy? I mean,
I don't know. It does seem like that.
you're letting it show, Judge. You're letting it show. And you're taking it out on the lawyer. It's not his fault.
It's not his fault. But you know, he's not in the. Bishop is not in the seat. So
Right.
okay, gotta catch that smoke.
Somebody gonna get it. Somebody gonna get it.
Hey,
She most definitely showing what team she on.
For sure. I think that's pretty clear. And I hate when judges do that.
Okay, we swear the witness in.
All right, Caleb, how old are you?
I am 25.
25 years old. Okay. And where were you born?
Sorry,
Where were you born?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. And did you go to high school in Nashville?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you graduate there?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do any college afterwards?
Yes, I went to Center College. It is a private liberal arts school in Danville, Kentucky. I did 3 years there.
Okay. And what years were you there in school? Do you remember?
Not really.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
What was your major?
Psychology.
Okay. All right. And do you have parents?
Yes.
Mom and dad?
Yes.
Okay. Do you stay in contact with your mom and dad?
Yes.
Okay. Where does mom live at?
Nashville.
Okay. How often do you see your mom?
It varies. I want to say it's a consistent pattern. Just whenever we cross paths.
Okay. How often do you talk to her?
Maybe like 3 times a month.
Okay. So a few times per month.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever go to Nashville and visit her?
Yes.
Okay. When's the last time you've been to visit?
I think last year.
Okay. Has she been here to visit you?
Yes.
Do you remember the last time she's been here to visit you?
I think it was 2021. We had a get together at our house and she came over.
At the house in Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Was it typical? So how long have you known Mr. Bishop?
I've known him for 6 years.
Okay. And when did you first meet him?
I first met him in 2018 in Palenque, Mexico.
In Mexico?
Yes,
Okay. And that was in person?
yes.
Okay. How did you get there?
How did I get there?
Yes, ma'am.
I flew.
Okay. And were you a student in college at that time?
No, actually, after my last semester of my junior year of college, I actually left school and then started to do my own thing, started to have my own soap business, and yeah, then I met this position.
Like a soap, a cleansing type of soap?
Yes, natural herbal products. I started my own business.
Okay. All right. Are you still in business?
No, I no longer do that anymore.
Okay. All right. And you were only, I guess, 1 year away from a psychology degree?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 2018, you ended up going to Mexico, and have you been around Mr. Bishop since that time frame?
Sorry.
Since 2018, have you been around Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Have you lived with him since then?
Yes.
Okay. In 2018 until now, have you come across anybody named Velvet Marquez?
Yes. That's his baby mother. They have a daughter together.
Okay. Have you come across a Kendra Carter?
Yes, I have.
Okay. What was her name?
Kendra Carter.
What name was
Oh,
she?
her name was we call her Sheba. Her name was Sheba.
Okay. And Brianna Jacobs.
Yes.
Okay. And did Brianna Jacobs have a name?
Yes, I think it was Syrian.
Syria? Okay. So I'm gonna start with Brianna Jacobs.
Okay.
Was Brianna Jacobs around you guys for a long period of time?
No.
Okay. About how long do you think she was around?
I would say a couple months.
Okay. And what cities was she around?
When we went to Las Vegas, she was with us in Las Vegas and Mexico.
Okay.
That's it. Then she left.
All right. Did she ever reach out to the group after she left to try to join the group back again, if you recall?
I think she reached out to someone. She called back, but I'm not sure who.
Okay. All right. And then Kendra Carter, was she around the group as long as you?
She was actually there before me.
Okay, so before 2018, Kendra Carter was there?
Yes.
Okay. And she left the group in 2022?
I think around that time.
Okay. And then Velvet Marquez, she was around the group for on and off times as well?
Yeah, she would leave and come back most of the time, but she was there before me as well. When I first came, she had just had a baby,
Okay.
and but she left and come back a lot of times because of she struggled dealing with polygamy. So
Okay. So she didn't like the fact that Mr. Bishop was with a lot of different women.
yeah, he would always she knew that he was polygamous when she entered, wanted to be with him. But once, other women started to come in, she would just get really upset out of nowhere. And I thought it was really dangerous because she would just try to walk off in the middle of nowhere because, we live in nature, we live in the jungle. We drive 45 minutes just to get to our home. So she would just try to walk off, not call anyone to get a flight, not, take the proper precautions to actually leave. She would just do it out of anger.
Okay. And when she tried to leave with the baby as well?
Yes,
Okay.
with no clothes on the baby, no clothes on her.
Okay.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And this was when she would see Mr. Bishop with other women, she would get upset with this?
Yes, she would try, but she would still just get upset.
Okay. She would try to keep her control with it?
Yeah, she would try to be in a polygamous relationship because they had a beautiful relationship. Like, they loved each other very deeply. And she couldn't deal with her jealousy.
Okay. Do you ever remember seeing her parents come to Mexico?
Yes, they did come in Mexico.
Okay. Did they come to the house you guys were staying in?
No, they didn't come to the house. Their baby, they actually went out to get her checked up, and they ran into her family there, and we seen it. Mr. Bishop, he was actually live that day.
Okay.
And I seen them, they were in the car, they went out to eat to a restaurant, and like they were just getting to know each other, and they was making sure that she was okay. She was just letting them know that everything is okay.
Okay. And this was all recorded on live as well.
Yes, this is all recorded.
Okay. All right. So I'll address that right now. So on live, was that something that happened frequently?
Yes, that's actually how I found him on live on social media. So I seen that he taught on social media, and everyone else had their own platform to teach on social media.
Okay.
And when I arrived, we was pretty much live all the time. Like everything is online.
Okay. Before I forget, I'm gonna. Now I'm going to show the witness judge 2 photos.
Yes.
You take a look at those. You recognize those?
Oh yes, this is
Well, just say if you recognize it.
oh yes, I recognize it.
Okay. What are those?
These pictures, one picture is May 15th. My mom, she came down to see me for my birthday. I don't know if it was May 15th, but the year is 2020. She came down to see me. She met Mr. Bishop. She met everyone in the family. She's very familiar with everyone in the family.
Okay.
And then the second one.
These pictures, have they been edited or deleted or modified in any way?
No.
Okay. Judge, I moved to tender these 2 photos, which I would mark as defense exhibit 3 and 4, which are photographs you identified.
Any objection? All right, they're admitted.
So I'm going to give you back the photos. These are pictures of you and your mother?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And these photos were taken, according to you, where were they taken?
One was at our house in the Decatur address, and the other one was at another house in Atlanta, I believe.
Okay. And can you read the dates on the bottom of those 2 photos?
Yes, the first one says 2020, and then the next one says 2021.
Okay. And do you recall where you were in 2020 and 2021?
Yes, we were here in Atlanta. The first one we were staying with someone, and then this one, this was at the house that the police actually came to detain us, the night of this whole situation.
Judge, may I pass these to the jury to look at?
Any objection? Go ahead. And then we'll have it back here during deliberation. So I don't want them, are you done with the witness? Okay, all right, you go ahead.
Okay, so mom came, she came to visit you, you guys took pictures, she knew where you lived at.
Right.
Okay. Did you have a phone during that time frame?
Did I have a phone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I always have a phone. Everyone has a phone.
Okay. Were people able to call their family as they wanted to?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody has their own social media platform and had open communication with not only their family, but everyone on social media with the world.
Okay, because everybody's watching now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you required to use the bathroom outside? That's been something the state brought up. Were you required to go outside and poop in a hole?
Was I required?
Yes.
No. Mr. Bishop, he teaches how to be more connected to the earth, but he doesn't make anybody do anything.
Okay.
He doesn't make anybody do anything. And the thing about Mr. Bishop is that everything that he believes in, his lifestyle, he posted it all on social media. So everyone who watches Mr. Bishop online, they're very aware of his diet, how he eats, how he sleeps, and how he lives his life.
Okay. So. If he were asleep, could other people be awake or vice versa? Was everybody required to go to bed at the same time as him? And be awake?
No. He just, like I said, everything that his lifestyle and the journey that he took upon himself, he decided that he wanted to go to sleep when it was dark.
Hold on.
Well, it's starting to get responsive once I objected, so I'll without the objection, as long as it stays responsive.
Okay, go ahead, finish your answer.
Let me rephrase the question.
Okay.
Did you have autonomy within the group to do what you felt like you needed to do?
Yes, I did. Yes.
All right.
Everyone believed in going to sleep when the sun goes down. We were living more in human nature.
Okay.
And
All
you
right.
could go to sleep whenever you wanted to. Everybody was adults and knew what they were doing and could do what they wanted to do.
And it was all recorded every day?
Everything was recorded.
Okay. And was the platform, was it something that the world could see inside the life of Mr. Bishop and the group that was with him?
Yes.
Okay. Now, during the time that you were in the 6 years, did you ever see anybody, did Mr. Bishop hitting anybody or acting in a physically violent way toward other people?
No, I've never seen Mr. Bishop do that. I have seen women actually abuse him. I've seen that. Like there's a video of his baby mother, Baby Marquez, punching him in the face.
Okay.
And there's a lot of videos online of the abuse and violence that people brought in his life. It's just that he gets blamed for everything because he's the initiator of the movement and people came into his life, so everybody puts the blame on him.
Okay. But you never saw him direct.
She's pouring it on thick.
I have to explain that before I answer because we did start a documentary before this whole case occurred. We were making a documentary. So we made videos for content to grab people's attention online so that we can show them the real teachings.
Well, she got the attention of law enforcement.
So we did that for like content, like for attention grabber.
Okay.
So yeah.
But no one off camera was being.
She's on the big stage now.
No.
You didn't see anybody in a park being body slammed for 45 minutes or anything?
No.
All right. So let's jump forward to Mobile to production. So in the group, what was your responsibility? Did you cook, clean, do acting, dancing, singing?
I love art, so I did a lot of painting. I did a lot of painting, dancing.
She hitting that mic a lot. I saw Tasha K do that in the federal trial, and that was kind of awkward.
I did a lot of presentations. We did this thing one time. It was called it was a woman empowerment thing, and I was kind of over it, and I would like teach the women how it was important to be in tune with the earth and embrace their natural selves. So I feel like just teaching. I like to teach.
Were you on camera frequently?
Yes.
Was Velvet Marquez on camera frequently?
Yes, very frequently.
What about Caleb Buckner?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Caleb.
I'm sorry, not Caleb Buckner. What about Kenya Carter? I'm sorry.
Yes, everybody who was in his personal life was
on a daily basis.
Yes.
All recorded.
Yes.
All right. Could you leave the house if you wanted to?
Yes.
Could you go to the store, for instance?
Yeah. Me and my sister, we actually had the car by ourselves and would go grocery shopping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an unusual thing.
No.
It wasn't that you had to stay there at the house and only the guys could go or anything like that.
No, it was just that when we lived in the jungle, like we had a car, and if we needed groceries, the guys would just go and get it. So we could stay at home, but it wasn't like we weren't able to or we were being held somewhere. It wasn't that.
And in Atlanta, were the women, or was it just the guys that got to go get groceries in?
In Atlanta?
Yes, ma'am.
I think both. I remember both because when the police kept doing wellness checks, I remember one. We were actually in a car. They had came to us in a car. They were like, "We obviously see that y'all are in the car. He's not even around y'all because our what we call online critics. We have hate groups because we're on social media."
Non-responsive.
Okay.
Sustained.
Sure. So, did you have groups of people that didn't like you?
That was the objection wrong.
What's the relevance?
Well, Judge, we've gone through the same scenario with every witness.
Well, then it's cumulative.
Okay. Well, I'll answer it differently.
Okay.
The police officer that you came across, were you in a car coming from the grocery store that day?
Yes, we were.
Okay. Did the police officer come to do a wellness check on you?
Yes,
Okay, were you well?
yes.
Okay. There was no one arrested for falsely imprisoning you or anything like that?
No, the online trolls or the hate groups would,
She has the right to explain her answer.
What,
I can't explain.
okay, but how does she, what's the foundation that,
She doesn't need a foundation to explain it.
well, it's, no, I'm going to sustain the objection.
I would ask on what grounds I was saying.
That there's no, I think she still needs a foundation to be able to explain why she believes she's saying these things. So that's the ruling.
Well,
Oh, no, don't say anything. You can ask another question or ask it differently.
Okay, sure. Were there groups that would falsely report things that were happening?
yes.
Objection. It's the same.
Council approach.
Okay, Ike, what is happening here, Ike? What is happening here? Because they're trying to get something in, and the judge's like, nah, Playboy, we're not letting you do this. Let me bring you up, Ike. Let me bring you up here.
They sliding it in slick.
Wait, hold on. We lose our stream. Hold on. Oh no, we did. Hold on. Okay, whose phone ringing in the courtroom? Oh, that's Ike. Ike, what are you doing? Ike, you about to be held in contempt.
That's why I'm going in and out on the mute, because I'm actually at the office.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought someone was violating the judge's order.
Businesswoman.
You have my permission to remove them from the courtroom.
Nobody's acting on behalf of Mr. Bishop.
I didn't say anybody on behalf of anybody. I said anybody in the courtroom who's any outbursts, anything. The deputies have my permission to remove them from the courtroom.
Yeah, sure. All right, Ms. Bogner, so you are able to leave as you so desire, right?
Yes, actually, left a couple of times.
Okay, and when you say you left, going to visit your mom or other places?
Yes.
Okay, and were you gone for extended periods of time?
Maybe a couple of days.
Okay, all right. Okay, so everything's kept online. Everybody has their own device, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving forward to March 24th, 2022, were you at the house that day?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What do you recall happening at the house? Well, let me ask you a question. Let me go back again. Janae Newell, did you know Janae Newell?
Oh my goodness.
We were both actually close.
Oh,
We were close friends.
I missed it.
And what was the name that she went by?
Mentally.
How long was she in the group for? Or was she in the group on and off?
She was in the group on and off for about maybe 2 years. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
Estimately.
Okay. So.
But I remember she had started like her own journey in Thailand and stuff even before coming.
Okay. March 24th, 2022. Was there any guests or visitors in the house, anything like that?
Yes, we had one guest.
Okay. And can you tell me what you remember about the interaction between Ms. Newell and Mr. Bishop on the 24th of March 2022?
Their interaction?
Yeah, what did you see them together? Was Ms. Newell leaving the house?
Yes. I can explain the night.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we had a guest over. And one thing about Natiri was anytime we had guests over, she would be like, in my opinion, she would be like overly flirtatious or like you're my soulmate and like I love you, you're my sister. It was like overly, it would be different from how she would act when we didn't have guests. So I remember we would just bring that up to her, how she would kind of change when we had company over, and it was kind of like a disregarding, like everyone being overly flirtatious, like to a point that was like, wait a second, you know? So once we made that a point, I apologize. Once we made that a point, she got upset. She got really upset.
Mic control.
And she was like,
who was she upset at?
well, her energy was like frustrated and like attitude because we were just telling her she was pretty much upset with everyone who spoke upon like her behavior.
And who spoke on front of her? Was it males, females, Mr. Bishop?
I believe I did. I know I did, and Portia. I think Queen Malia did.
I don't like the
and
way
I
this
think
is going
Mr.
right
Bishop
now.
was just agreeing with us, if I can recall. But I remember that once we started saying, like, addressing her behavior, she was like, her lip was going up and like she was getting attitude with us.
Attacking the victim is not a
And
smart
I
strategy,
feel
I don't
like
think, Counselor.
in
What
my
do you think?
opinion, it's because we did have a guest over. Because the nature of the family
There's no objection.
was everybody pushing towards to be a
Well,
better
it's
person,
his witness.
to be a better character. So if he, if
Right, the prosecution can object.
upholding, the morals that we live by, we would just address it.
Okay.
So
Okay. So, but did you address it in a confrontational, violent type way with her?
well, it was, I wouldn't say it was confrontational. I would say just making a point, like a stern point, because Natiri, every time she left, she would go online to our hate groups and talk down on us and defame Mr. Bishop's character and says he's this and he's that, and really disrespect us. And then she'll apologize, and then she'll come back. She's like, I love y'all, and y'all are my family. I apologize. And she did this, I would say, over 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I
So
forgot a
with
beep.
her,
I forgot a beep.
Mr. Bishop is a very loving person. A lot of people take advantage of him because he's so forgiving. And so when she came back that last time, we were just holding her accountable for her actions because she constantly blatantly disrespects, everybody online.
Okay. So by keeping her, I guess, accountable, did anybody, including yourself or Mr. Bishop, punch her in the head or face or stomach or anything like that?
No, nobody punched her.
Okay. Did Mr. Bishop direct anybody to hurt her anyway?
No.
Okay. So does she decide to leave?
Yeah, she did. So after we, addressed her and she started to get attitude, I remember Zoka did slap her or whatever.
Okay, this is helping the prosecution.
So it was a natural family fight. Families get into scruffles sometimes. It wasn't like she was being, it was just tension, I feel like, between the women because at that point we were just kind of tired of like her behavior. So she said she wanted to leave after that. She said she wanted to leave, and we were like, okay. And she started getting her. I remember she went upstairs. She and Zoka went upstairs with her so she can pack her bags. And I remember at one point she started to get loud. I started to hear like it started to get very loud upstairs. So I went upstairs and I was like, you need to be respectful in our home. Like if you want to leave, just leave. Like pack your stuff and just leave properly. You don't have to make a scene because I feel like a lot of women come and they leave like out of anger or like because they're not getting their way, not a saying or I want to leave. Like it's it's out of emotion.
Out of jealousy?
Out of jealousy.
Okay. So was Mr. Bishop around her when she was acting this way, or was it primarily the women?
Mr. Bishop, I think he was in his room because she was in the back room and the 2 ladies were with her as she was gathering her things.
Okay. And so did she go downstairs or did anybody order her to go downstairs?
Yeah, so after she got her stuff, I remember she tried to get something out of Mr. Bishop's room, but she was like stumping with an attitude and pushing through people. And we was like, wait, like we'll go in there and get it because you just have an attitude right now and you're bringing a lot of destructive energy into the home. So somebody went to grab it, and then she went downstairs. I remember she was sitting on the stairs for a little bit. I think she was getting her Uber. And then when she was about to leave, she was walking out. It was like, "Is that your charger?" I think it was Zoka. I was watching her leave out. Zoka was like, "Is that your charger? We need our charger back. Like, when you leave, just take what's yours, and don't take any of our things." And she was like, "It's just a charger." And then she was like, she tried to go upstairs. She said that Mr. Bishop wouldn't treat her like this. Since the women, like, it was an altercation with the women. So we were like kind of in a conflict at that time. So she was like, "Mr. Bishop wouldn't treat me like this. I want to go upstairs and say something to Mr. Bishop." And so Queen told her to go back downstairs because she was just bringing a lot of energy, like being disrespectful. So she went back downstairs and she went to her Uber.
Okay. Did she come back inside?
Yeah, she did.
Did you witness her coming back inside?
Yeah, so what happened was when she left, I went back upstairs to Mr. Bishop to tell him that she left. And we told him that she tried to go upstairs to say bye to him. She tried to come upstairs. And then he was like, "Well, she was trying to come upstairs." And we was like, "Yeah, what does she want?" He said, "What does she want?" We was like, "We don't know." He was like, "Okay, tell her it's okay for her to come upstairs then." And so we had yelled out the window, like, call him Poppy. We're like, "Poppy's calling you." So she came back upstairs, and then when she came upstairs, he was sitting, as soon as you go up the stairs, there's his room. He was standing like right in front of the room, and she came up to him. I was standing on the stairs, and she went up to him, and they hugged, and she was like, "I love you." He was like, "I love you too." She was crying, and they were like hugging. He was holding her, and me and Queen Malia was standing right there, and we were watching, like, because they were having an intimate moment. So it was like we were just sitting there watching, and it was for like 3 minutes. So I was like, "Should I walk away?" Because I felt like we were interrupting their intimate moment, because they were like hugging and crying, telling each other I love each other. And
Where did you go to? Did you stay there?
I stayed there because before I left, they actually walked into the room. I imagine because they probably felt weird too, that we were just standing there. So they walked into the room, and yeah, after that, when I went downstairs because there was a lot going on. Later that night, I seen her. We like crossed past each other, and she had a different outfit on. Well, before she went in the room, me and Queen looked at each other like, like that's what you wanted this whole time, like to get his attention. Like you made that outburst to get Mr. Bishop's attention because that's something that she always wanted. She wanted attention, and she wanted to be queen to have attention. So, in my opinion, when I seen her, she had on a different outfit, so I assumed she's staying. And I kind of looked at her like, like you got what you wanted, and she like was kind of
Objection, hearsay. Whatever she said is on
this whole case is
Stop.
Sorry.
So,
All right.
Wow.
This whole time she been talking about hearsay. Now you want to object?
so after you communicated with her, she communicated with you. Did you guys?
This whole case is hearsay.
Yes.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Harper. Let's Sheriff's Department do their thing. Okay, go ahead.
Coaching from the peanut gallery.
Afterwards, did you guys go to bed?
Yes. So after we passed each other, she like was blushing afterwards. After they had their moment, she was blushing, and it wasn't really nothing to be said because it was kind of understood, that she pretty much got what she wanted. because we talk a lot, and she always said she wanted people to.
You can't talk about what she said.
Oh, I apologize, but after that, Mr. Bishop, he was live in his room, and I don't know if she was in the room with us. I think it was briefly, but we were kind of sitting in the closet, picking out our outfits for the next day, and she was like sitting down for a minute, and then after that, she went to the back room to go to sleep. She slept back there with Zoka and Sheba, I believe, and then me, Mr. Bishop, and Portia and Malia, we slept in another room.
Okay. And after
And then we woke up and she was gone
gone.
the next day.
Okay. Just a couple of questions. So the reason she had a charger was because she had a cell phone.
Yes.
Is that fair? So that means she had a phone that she was using herself.
Yeah, she had a phone she was using herself, yes.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, and the state's gonna ask you this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and save this some time. Do you believe Mr. Bishop is God? Do you explain what that means?
I believe that I live by the laws of my yard. And one of the laws of my yard is all things are consecrated from the divine. So I see God in everything. I believe you are God. I believe everybody in this room is God, broken up into different pieces, different vibrations and frequency of the oneness that we all come from.
Okay. So when you use the word God for him, you're not giving him, you're giving him that he's a piece of God the same way you would be.
Yeah, it's a piece of God, and for our documentary, it was part of our documentary to like make him the God. Like,
okay,
it's a part of our, yeah.
Is that where the three God character came from?
Yes.
Okay. What are other characters that he had as well outside of three
Yes,
God?
Mr. Bishop has a lot of characters on social media. He has Three God, he has Dr. Bishop, he has Totally Todd, he has Leroy, he has Uncle Fernando, he has a lot of different characters that he plays on social media, and I feel like he's very misunderstood. And I feel like people try to put him in a box and paint him as something that he's not. And I feel like we can interpret a lot of misinterpret stuff from social media. And I feel like the Three God character really did bring a lot of attention because this is why this whole case is happening.
Okay. Now, going back really quick, I'm almost done. March 24th, you were there. April 7th, once the police come, are you there at the house that night also?
Yes.
Okay. Did the police question you?
No, it's been 2 years. I haven't spoke about this case until today.
Okay. So the statement that you've given today, you wouldn't have given that statement before because the police never asked you, right?
The police never asked us. In my opinion, this case was very one-sided.
Okay, no, not your opinion. Just answer the question.
Okay. Did the police take your side? Did they ask you your side?
No, they asked me, did I want some water?
Okay. They never asked you anything else?
No,
Never asked you were you being falsely imprisoned?
no,
Or were you a witness of anything about March 24th, 2022?
no, we didn't even know why we were there. And we didn't know what was going on until we came back to the house and seen the warrant on the table. We were very shocked at this case and the charges.
Okay. Were there a lot of people there at the house that day on April 7th? Were there other people outside of you?
Yes,
When he was arrested?
yes.
Okay. And then the other thing is the state's going to ask you in a minute, so we can save them question. Since this case is going on, you've been in contact with Mr. Bishop, correct?
Yes,
You talk to him frequently,
yes,
like every day,
yes,
sometimes more than one time a day.
yes.
Okay. Has he told you or influenced your testimony in any way?
No,
Has he told you what to say?
no,
Has he told you how you would create what you would say around what other people would say? For
no. I'm saying exactly what happened that night. And I'm saying exactly what the accuser said as well. She said that.
No,
You
she said.
can't say that. And ultimately, you're here to tell the truth and let your story be told. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe that,
Is that a question? that require an explanation?
Let me ask her a different question, because the state's gonna ask you this in a minute, so we'll go ahead and say it in a minute as well. Do you believe Mr. Bishop is the Messiah?
What do you mean? What is Messiah?
I have no idea. They're gonna ask you, so I'm trying to save some time. Do you believe he's the Messiah? Whatever that means.
Well, I don't know exactly what that means. I do know that he is, he just started the movement of going back to nature.
Okay.
And teaching the importance of being in tune with nature.
Okay. I'll let them ask you the question about the Messiah. Maybe they can explain what they mean by that. And then the last thing is, were there rules in place and roles in place for women that they were beneath men in the group?
No.
Was there equality between the men and women?
You said equality?
Equality. Were they on the same equal playing field?
Yes.
Okay, and if the women, for instance, didn't do what Mr. Bishop said, were there physical injuries that would happen to them if they didn't do what he said?
No, I grew up with my mom being in an abusive relationship growing up, and I wouldn't be defending or associating myself who abuses people.
Thank you.
Cross?
Here we go.
Left to join up with Mr. Bishop and some other folks when you were 19, is that right?
I was 20.
You were 20, and you had finished 3 years of school?
Yes.
College?
Yes.
So you started college when you were 17 then?
I believe I was 18. I was 18.
And you have been with Mr. Bishop, I mean, other than the days where you go to visit, you know, family or whatnot, since then?
Yes. Yes.
Safe to say you've sort of grown up with him?
No.
See, I'm saying like your formative young adult years have been with Mr. Bishop and his associates, right?
No, I wouldn't say that. 3 years in college, I feel like that was more so my adult years. In my last semester of college, I actually studied abroad in Mexico, where I lived in Mexico for 3 months with a Spanish-speaking family. So I'm well developed in who I am, and I wouldn't say that I spent most of my adult years with Mr. Bishop.
But yet at that point you were sort of looking for something, right? Mr. Bishop offered that, some sort of spiritual guidance.
Well, I was, after I came back from that trip in Mexico when I stayed abroad, I felt like I actually got more in tune with nature on my own. And it was a very enriching and beautiful experience for me. I feel like it opened my mind a lot to a different culture and, you know, all the things in the world. So when I did come back to college after my trip, that experience just stayed with me. And that's when I eventually seen Mr. Bishop online. He was teaching the importance of the human being having their bare feet on the earth, how it gets rid of all diseases, and how we're supposed to be in a tropical environment, breathing the best oxygen and taking the best food for our optimum health and, you know, happiness.
And you ended up, in the time you were there, you had mentioned Brianna Jacobs, that she was there for a little while.
Yeah.
I think you had said a couple of the places that she was with you, like Mexico and Vegas. She was also with the group in California and Hawaii as well.
Oh, she was with us in Hawaii. I apologize. She was with us in Hawaii, and you said California?
Yeah. Which I think would have been immediately after Hawaii, before.
I think so. It's kind of big.
And you talked about, I mean, obviously for a while you all have been in Atlanta, but back when you were sort of moving around the tropics and whatnot, the main thing that you all looked for in a place to live was isolation, right?
No.
It wasn't important to be sort of away from urban society so that you could be more in touch with nature?
Well, we were like maybe 30, 45 minutes from, like, I would say the town. We were surrounded by nature. Yeah.
And so that was an important part of what the group was doing at that point. right?
I wouldn't say isolation, I would just say, being in a space where you're not bombarded by billboards and stuff going into your mind. You know, we were like in an environment where we were surrounded by nature and practicing being more indigenous to the land.
And around that time, when you're in Central America or Mexico, I think it was around 2020, there was a time where you were considering leaving the group, right?
In 2020?
I believe it was 2020.
I'm not sure. I know my mom came in 2020. I don't know if I was there.
Do you remember a time when you were in a Jeep driving around? Mr. Bishop was with you. I think a couple other folks were with you. He was live, and he was talking to you about your sort of indecision about leaving or staying.
I don't recall that.
He keeps telling you, hold the camera up in the video.
Oh,
because,
that one?
Yeah.
That was another thing to get the people's attention.
And that was before you all moved to Atlanta, right? I mean, that was when you all were somewhere tropical, because you're like literally driving on the side of the cliff with like forests and trees down there, right?
That was in that video. Where was that in? I think that was in Puerto Rico, because in Puerto Rico, we weren't necessarily doing the three God, but we were doing like the other characters, like totally tied and doing different things to like get the people's attention. But when we did come to Atlanta, that's when the full character of three God came.
So, I mean, let me just say, like, anything that is online that looks bad for Mr. Bishop because he's telling someone to slap someone, or he's just demeaning you for 45 minutes in a car, or like in that video, that's all acts, right?
Yes, stuff like that, those are acts. Sometimes we really did have disagreements sometimes. And then we had what is called a real, excuse me, but real.
Yeah, she could explain her answer.
Well, I think we're beyond explaining the answer, we're just in the narrative at this point.
I agree. Go ahead,
Okay.
ask your next question.
So, I guess we're, at this point, like, the outside world, it was seen as failure if someone left, right? Like, they were a failure within the group if they had to leave.
No.
You weren't going to your lower self.
We just acknowledge that the industrialized society takes from nature more than it gives. Like it cuts down trees to make buildings.
Sure.
We just acknowledge that. I wouldn't say
What does
that.
that have to do with the group?
Oh, sorry.
Finish your answer.
No, you can go ahead.
What does that answer have to do with how the group felt about someone leaving? Because they were going back into the industrialized society?
Objection argumentative.
On their higher self, right?
I feel like a lot of
Overruled,
people,
counselor.
well, when you come back into nature, I feel like a lot of I don't know if anybody's familiar, but generational curses and like things you have to work
Can you
on.
answer the question first,
I think
please?
she's trying to do it.
Sir?
I think she's trying to.
All right.
I'm
No, let me finish. Answer the question, and then you can explain your answer. Okay, so repeat the question, Mr. Kennedy.
Was it viewed as failure when somebody left the group because they failed on their attempt to become their higher self?
No.
Your loyalty doesn't have an expiration date. You said that about with respect to your feelings about Mr. Bishop, right?
My loyalty doesn't have expiration date.
Exactly. That you will remain loyal to Mr. Bishop forever.
No, I'm remaining loyal to everything I want to do. I'm a grown woman. I don't feel like these questions have anything to do with Mr. Bishop.
Well, you don't know, that's not part of your answer. You just have to answer the questions.
She's answering, Judge. Let us explain.
So you said before that your loyalty.
What the heck is happening, counselor?
My loyalty doesn't have an expiration date.
Okay.
Talking about.
He's not protecting his witness.
Is that true or false?
That's false. When I'm talking about my loyalty, I'm talking about my loyalty and what I believe in, as far as being more close to nature. I'm talking about my loyalty with human beings being a part of the ecosystem and not going against the ecosystem. I feel like we as humans have come so far away from nature, and I feel like my purpose is to be here and to teach. If you go on all of our channels, we are teaching about our lifestyle, and I feel like that's what I've decided to do in my life, and that's what I'm doing. I wouldn't say that it's a loyalty to a certain person.
You learned those teachings from Alicia Bishop, primarily.
No.
Okay. I don't know.
All right, anything else for her?
He was definitely reaching.
Any other evidence or witnesses for the defense?
How about lunch, Judge? Can we get lunch?
Okay, all right.
Comfort break.
I'm gonna send you guys to a really late lunch. I'm so sorry. I was trying to get through all of this evidence. It's 2:30. I'm gonna ask, and remember I said I'm willing to go late tonight, so we're gonna keep plowing through. Go ahead and have your late lunch. Be back at 3:30, and we'll resume at that time. Okay? Thank you so much. Same rules remain in effect. 3:30. Jurors back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get up here. I gotta take a lunch. I gotta take a comfort break. Listen, you don't know, this is not easy. This is not easy. I've been holding my water. Too much information. I'm about to explode. You guys know I have not moved here from this seat. Now, can I get some love over here? Oh, I'm going to the court. I'm telling you, it won't take me that long to get to the court. You're going to be hitting me up on my jack, my phone, for those who are not from my
Who are not old?
Not old. Wait, hold on.
What about the conference room? There's a conference room right over. Is that being used?
We've been trying to, but we've been getting kicked out of the conference room.
Wait, what happened? Oh.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk to them back there.
Okay. All right. Very good. I don't think anybody else is back there.
Hold on. What's happening? Hold on. I got to put you on mute. Okay. India, I see you trying to sneak up in here, man. Calm down, Playboy. Calm down.
I wasn't sneaking up.
Okay, listen. There's something happening. I can't leave just yet. I can't leave until the judge gets off the bench because this is how I'm trained as a journalist, and she's about to leave. She's grabbing everything up. She's out of here. She's out of my life. All right. Okay, we're back. All right, here we go. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. All right. We're gonna try this thing again. All right. So we're gonna maintain the live stream. I don't know. Should I just head to the court, Ike? What do you think, Ike? You're enjoying the stream, or should I just head to the courtroom, Ike? What do you think?
Leave the stream.
I gotta man it. I can't just leave it. It's got to be manned by the man. It got to be manned by the man.
Don't man it. What your problem is?
Oh man. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. Let me guys, you're getting this in real time. Do you know what it takes to man a stream? It's insane. I could have ate a whole lunch. She done ate I watched her eat a whole lunch.
We sure did. It was so good. Oh my God.
See, y'all don't know what I see backstage. She's eating a lunch. She's
had an
holding the
acai
salad
bowl. It wasn't a salad. It was acai granola blueberries.
Okay.
One of those.
How about this? How about
So
this?
good.
Okay, I need to eat lunch. Who's treating me for lunch? That's right. Ain't no shame in my game. Who's treating me for lunch today?
I got you.
Sir, those little cash apps, that's not even water.
Did you listen? You know, all you got to do is respond to them. I told you it's more where that came from.
Ike,
What's up?
I'm so hood.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm hood too.
All day, all day. All right, so quickly, let's go over what we saw. Yeah.
Yes. 15 minutes. We got to have lunch.
Okay.
Let's go.
So that was who was that? What is that? Is it Fufu?
What we ain't saying names.
They can't say the names. I don't think they want us to say the names.
It was in the chat. I'm reading what was in the chat. It was in the chat. I don't know what. I don't know how.
I'm gonna say Fufu.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the wives. That's what I said. It was one of the wives.
One of the wives.
You treat me like animal.
Listen. I'm not. Listen. I got to go back to that court. I'm not trying to get attacked by a cult or alleged cult. So we listen.
Okay, let me just tell you quickly my observations. I don't know who this defense attorney is, but the fact that he had 2 photos that he hadn't even blown up. You didn't prepare those photos for entry into evidence. Those are just some regular random ass photos. Yeah, did she bring them when she came to court? And you were like, oh yes, I'll put those in, because we prepare photos, we blow them up so that the jury has a good demonstrative of the evidence that we're trying to present. Absolutely. You're putting in that bullshit. You putting in that. No, I'll be sitting in the back too. You gave me this motherfucker. He's supposed to defend me. He can't put 2 questions together. He don't know when to fucking object, and he don't know when to tell the judge this is not fucking hearsay. Just because something is an outer court statement does not mean that it automatically is exempt from coming into evidence. There are endless exceptions to the hearsay rule, right? And she's commenting on a witness who has already testified. This is permissible. This is permissible evidence for her to come in and talk about her observations and breaking news. She is entitled to give reputation and opinion evidence. She can do that. She's allowed to do that. And the judge didn't allow her to do that. And he didn't get up and say shit.
What I know,
he didn't get up and say anything like judge.
He needs you.
What I noticed, the common thread through each of these.
Wait, I saw somebody in the comment who said I represented one of their family members. Yes, that is true. That is true. And
hold on, guys. Hold on.
And we beat that case.
Hold on. Something's happening in court.
They back already? That would be quick.
Okay, so we might have a hot mic, so I'm going to reluctantly pause the stream from that end.
Which is muted.
Well, the judge is back on the bench. So why she's back on the bench, I don't know. She took her mask off too. Your Honor, we see you don't have your mask on in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Why is she even in court with COVID?
Your Honor, you heard me. You busted. We got you. Oh God.
they trying to spread it. Everybody gonna be sick.
It's crazy. I would not. I would have did what he did. I'm not coming to court while you have COVID, Judge. It's just not gonna happen.
Okay, so and listen, okay. Why did the camera guy turn that on anyway? I don't know what that was all about. Let's go. Here we go.
Okay, so back to him. Then I think there was a wealth of testimony she could have given that was not permitted. She's right there. She has a first-hand account of what happened before and after this alleged rape, right?
Yes.
She should have been able to give all of that. And he should have did a blow by blow. So when you were there and what happened next and what did she do next? And what did you see her do? Did you see her make a call? Were the doors locked at that time? Was anybody guarding the doors? Could people freely come and go? Like, come on. These are the elements you have to establish. They're saying he unlawfully imprisoned her. So establish that she was able to go and that she was aware that she was able to go.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He's not doing that. He's not doing that.
Well, perhaps he's a little disappointed his client's not sitting alongside him. And he's
please.
Let me ask you a question, counselor. Let me ask you a question. in all your years as an attorney, how many
Yes.
times have you had clients that weren't sitting in that seat?
Never. I have never tried.
Ah!
I've never as a prosecutor have I tried an empty chair, and never as a defense attorney have I had a defendant abscond on me that I had to try the case without him with me.
Okay, and how would you feel if that happened to you?
If it happened to me in this instance, I would move on like it was nothing.
Oh, you
I would move. No, I wouldn't feel no kind of way. In fact, I probably would have joined his objection that we shouldn't be proceeding while you have COVID. COVID, Judge.
Okay, and I agree with you. I'm not in the courtroom.
I mean, you at this point are putting all of us in jeopardy. People here have family members who have special needs and whatnot who can't be exposed to fucking COVID. That's not just so. I would have joined my client's application at that point. No, we want an adjournment.
Right,
and you can sit out for a day or two.
We see Judge Glanville in the YSL case.
Exactly,
had no problem.
No problem. Delay. Exactly.
Right. So this, I don't know if that was a good call by the judge.
It was not a good call.
And it was subjective because she's the one who has COVID. So her making that decision, that judgment call, might have been flawed. And COVID, she might not have been in, her. I won't say this, but she might not have been right.
Well, and at the other side of that is it could very well be reversible error because now this person has absented himself from the courtroom. He is missing material stages of his trial.
Right. Absolutely.
And we don't know if he can communicate with the lawyer, so we don't know if he can tell that lawyer, hey, ask her this question. Or you know what happened?
Yeah.
Because that happens when a defendant is sitting next to you and someone is telling their story. They start to remember things that they otherwise may not recall. And then they're like, oh, not doing the elbow to the side or when I hand him the paper.
We see it in this case because he has assisted his attorney while the prosecution was asking questions and he's writing stuff down. So he doesn't have the luxury of doing that anymore.
Right.
And again, I don't know if the weight of him leaving was greater than the weight of him being there. I just don't know. I just think that but the judge again, I'm telling you, I'm in that courtroom, and once she said that, I'm good. No trial's that important for me to expose myself.
Exactly. Because that little mask does not help you.
No, of course not.
That mask does not prevent COVID. It will not keep the air particles from flying around in the courtroom as you speak. It's not. It's just not.
Man. So let's talk about the line. Well, I was saying earlier, the common thread I saw was that both prosecutors weren't really too interested in getting too much out of these witnesses. They just wanted to kind of expose them, allow them to expose themselves to the jury, and let the jury decide the credibility of each testimony.
Well, first, let me just say, prosecutors are inartfully and terribly, woefully inexperienced when it comes to cross-examination because they don't get to do it. They don't get to do it often, right? Oftentimes, when a case goes to trial, the defense, they don't have witnesses.
Okay.
Right. And so prosecutors tend to be really good at direct examination. And so I didn't expect anything from them on that level, but I also don't think the defense hurt their case enough that they felt they needed to discredit these witnesses. What this defense attorney could have done with this witness, he could have destroyed the credibility of their main witness. And he didn't do it. I mean, he did it a little bit, right? He cast some doubt, but he could have destroyed her testimony.
I would say that I believe that this case at this point is ripe for an appeal.
Yeah, I mean it's the COVID issue and the defendant being outside of the courtroom while this material part of the trial is. I don't know why the judge thinks this is appropriate. I don't know why she thinks this is okay.
She should have covered up behind because this right here you can send the jury home. I mean, this is freaking Thursday.
Right.
Go back for
Right. Come back Monday. Everybody's
Right.
straight. Everybody's
Right.
straight. And we
It's
don't have any
crazy.
constitutional violations.
Right. That's it. Judge
Why
Lamb.
why roll the dice on a
what reason?
reversal?
What? Why?
Why?
I'm scared to talk. How you gonna argue with a lawyer? I'm going on
No,
mute.
no, go
I
ahead,
ain't
go
got
ahead.
nothing to
No,
say. I'm
no,
just
no, no,
listening,
go ahead, go
listening
ahead.
and soaking up game. Let's go.
Ladies
No,
and-
no. I want your input. Come on, brothers.
No,
Chime in.
we're gonna
chime
have to
in.
get his input after lunch because I ate lunch.
Okay,
Go
you
to
gotta
lunch.
go eat. All
Yes,
right.
I appreciate everyone. The live is going to stay here. We're gonna resume after lunch.
Okay.
Again, I appreciate all those who have tuned in. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and make sure you support the platform because tomorrow will likely be closing arguments and there will be a verdict. I don't know if it's going to be a verdict. There'll be closing arguments. I don't know if it's going to be a verdict, but they will be closing arguments. So this judge is trying to move this thing along, and we don't know if Mr. Bishop will decide to take the stand. Well, I don't know if he's going to take the stand. Well, the judge might want him to come back to court to take the stand. They may dress him out for that. But
is he testifying? Do we know that already?
We don't. He hasn't decided yet. He has
Okay.
not decided yet. So we're going to
Okay.
see, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comments. Be respectful. Don't do anything to get yourself banned from this channel, this platform. I appreciate you. I really do. Ike, India, Inda,
In the lab.
in the
Just
lab.
call me. Yeah, there
In
you
the
go.
lab.
In the lab.
In the lab. Okay.
I thought you said she was so
What does that
good.
mean?
Right.
In the lab live.
Right. Yes. Thank everyone. We're gonna go back to the live, and we'll see you guys after lunch.
All right.
All right. I'll try to join. I can't make no promises.
Hey.
I ain't no promises. I got stuff to do.
Thank you, Ike. Peace.
All right.
Oh, don't go nowhere because we're coming back after lunch. This live's staying up. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. For what it's worth, just make sure that you come back after lunch. All rise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Just got informed that there are some individuals on YouTube that are streaming my stream while I'm doing it. So what I may have to do is head to the courthouse. You guys gotta, like you're supposed to be looking out for me. Let me know they're streaming my stream. So I might have to head to the courthouse. I don't know. I'm trying to decide right now because this case is going to go on to about 7 o'clock tonight. And it only takes one person to ruin it for everyone else. It only takes one, or maybe two, or maybe three. Some people just don't want to say, "Hey, go to Hip Hop Inquirer, go to his page and watch it." They want to stream. They want to just take it. It's not fair. It's wrong. So, we utilize our resources to make things happen. And it's just weird. It's kind of weird. I can just sit in the well, I don't really want to sit in the courtroom, but I'll sit in my vehicle and I'll watch it and I'll give you guys a recap. That's what I should do. Guys, listen. I need an incentive at this point. This is ridiculous. They're literally streaming my stream. Let's see what they do when they can't stream it anymore. And this is why I hadn't streamed the other days is because of individuals like this. Just call them out. Just let them know. Send me the link. Just let me know who it is, and I'll forward it to counsel, and then we'll just strike the page. That's all. We'll strike the page. I can't let everyone pay for the mistakes of for you. They don't they don't donate to the channel. They don't do anything. They just steal. They don't do no donation. I'm literally out in these streets. No donation, no nothing. They just want to just take. They want to put the work in. They were probably the same people who was cheating on exams, looking over a person's shoulder, stealing the answers. Call them out. Call them out. Call them out. It's only Nick at night. Excuse me, Nick at night. And the locals and myself. But you're doing a little too much right now. You're doing too much right now. It makes me think you guys don't enjoy what we do over here. Okay, see, someone's showing some love here. One person's showing love. This is interesting. Just one person is showing love. Maybe I'll just let them watch the link. Just that person. We can watch in the comfort of our homes. And see the first place. He's milking. I'm not milking anything. Tell me about an hour from now if I'm milking it when you don't see me. Ow! I'm gonna try this one time. I'm gonna hold off the stream. I'm gonna hold the stream for a second. I'm gonna hold the stream for a second. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna post the Cash App right now. It's simple. It's at Hip Hop Inquirer. That's the Cash App at Hip Hop Inquirer. It's simple. This is gonna go on for another 4 or 5 hours. Another 4 or 5 hours. I have other cases. I'm on the YSL case as well. I'm on the Trump case. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a hobby for me. I do this for real. I do this for real. And those who know. Those who don't, won't. I'm literally in these courtrooms. I literally have lawyers that fight for me to have access. This is like go ahead and keep paying your Netflix. Pay the Netflix. Don't support black media. No, just don't support black media. Yes, now I'm bringing race in it. I am an independent journalist. Thank you, Julie Washington. That's right. Oh, that's right. It is super chat. So you can hit the super chats. It's no problem. You don't have to hit the cash app. Just hit the super chat. And they say, I want to watch it. No, one. No, they don't. No one want to share. I'm doing it now. How about that? I'm gonna pin it. How about that? It's right there. Hold on. Hold on a second. The ticker is right there. You see that little red ticker going across the page? It's right there, right in front of you. It's about okay. Hold.
Charge conference.
Here we go. Here we go.
Jail courtroom with Mr. Bishop. Y'all had a chance to review the proposed charge that the court prepared?
Yes, sir.
All right, any objections to the proposed charge from the state?
On page 2, stipulations does not appear.
There weren't any, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay, that'll come out, obviously. Okay.
Page 4, near the top, defense request 10, witness attack.
Yeah, that had been, whoever prepared it, they tailored it already, but is it not tailored accurately?
Well, there's certainly been no evidence of cross-examination regarding.
I think I'm gonna hold off for a second. I see someone still trying to stream this. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on here. I tell you what, I'm gonna leave this up for a few minutes. I'm gonna see where the support is at. I'm gonna leave it up here real quick. Otherwise, I'm gonna go shoot a game of pool.
Pending charges with any
True.
of those witnesses, so that.
Oh, yeah, they will. All right, so that last sentence comes out, okay.
I'm not sure that the charge at all needs to be in there, but
Mr. Booker?
counsel's thought.
I believe there's been evidence.
You turn the mic on, please.
I'm sorry, Judge. I believe there's been evidence offered to attack her. I would ask that it remains. I do.
All right, I'll leave it in.
The last sentence should come out.
I'll take the last sentence out, but I'll leave it in otherwise as currently drafted. All right, any other, we'll go page by page and you can each tell me if there are any issues.
I'm fine with it, Judge.
Yeah, let's just do that. All right, so were there any issues between on the first couple pages, Mr. Becker?
No, Your Honor, not for the
Okay.
first, I think we're on page 4.
Okay, 5, I'm gonna take out the highlighted sentence, this is use the following charge with caution. That comes out,
Just the note or
just the note.
Right, okay, no issue from the state.
6,
I don't believe that knowledge is applicable. It deals with circumstances like conspiracy or
party to the crime.
Knowledge will come out.
That, you'll withdraw that, okay, so great, that's out. Page 7,
Judge, we would object to the triple X charge there, that's S-15. That charge, when you look at the House v. State case and the Callaway v. State case, they both deal with essentially a father and a child, not two adults.
okay,
In a rape case, I don't believe that charge would be appropriate for this case.
okay.
State's position is that it's a correct statement of law that is tailored to the facts because of the uniquely coercive environment that has been described through the evidence. We ask the court to give it.
And that's been the state's uniquely, that I don't think that's a proper charge.
All right, I'm not gonna give that, it's not a pattern charge, you can certainly argue it, however, but that'll come out. All right, page 8, obviously we'll take out S-21.
Yes, we withdraw that.
Okay. 9. 10, no,
I think that's all.
that's all, okay.
Good.
All right. 11,
So between 10 and 11, no issue with what's on the page. It's just because I didn't put them in my charge because it was an oversight. We don't have the 404B specific what charges related to.
we can add the,
I think the court has them because I know I've given them. If you don't, I can pull them up and email them to somebody. But I just think that needs to be included, even though it's going to sound repetitive, but so that the court knows for like the physical abuse that's only limited to motive. And
okay, is it the pattern 404B? Do you know what number it is? What charge number?
no,
Is that the one that I gave the limiting instruction?
yes, it's exactly the same.
1.34.00 and 1.34.10.
Yes, Your Honor, and the 1.3.
So I have it right here as redacted too. It's tailored. So we'll just add in the one that I've been giving multiple times, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it the same for 1, 2, or 3 to 5? Isn't that a difference?
There's two 404B.
I will be shouting out those people who have contributed to the channel, and you can thank those people for keeping me here.
So can we do both of them and say in counts? Well, I guess they were a little different.
They were very different, but I think, don't we have copies of those somewhere?
Yeah.
Do you have an I have the one that says counts 3 through 5, which is the revenge porn. Do you have the other one?
That was the one we doctored up there with all the writing on it.
Yeah, but I have 1,000 pages. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I've got it. But I got, yeah, you come up here and take a look at these just to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, so, and then Joe, you can have those in, please, thank you.
So I just banned someone from the platform. Not just because of this stream, but because they've been doing some really weird stuff. I just banned them. I'm not going to say his name. They're not. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Sorry, my cold. Sorry.
That's why I wanted y'all to look at this.
Yeah, that's, we wrote all of it. This would be. Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one?
That's this one.
All right.
So it's 1.3410.
Right, but this is already tailored.
Yeah, we already,
As is written.
Yes.
so it would be for both, same charge, just tailored differently.
Okay, but this one's already in here. No?
The 413 truck is not. The 404B truck is not. So that's 404B.
Okay, so this is just I'm gonna pause it right now because this is just them going over the jury instructions. We're gonna get back into it. They're going over the jury instructions, but right now I want everyone just to hit the flag button on Denot's page because apparently he's flagging. If I mean he's streaming the video. So if he's streaming the video, just go flag his page, uh, and I'll send this link to who I need to send it to. Just flag his page because he's in my chat talking trash. I just blocked him from the chat, not for this reason, but for some other issues that apparently was been brought to my attention. But if you see anyone streaming, flag their page and send me a DM and we'll deal with it. Thank you. I appreciate you. I really do. Just send me the links. Send the links to my DM. Uh, right now, it's going to be on pause until we start doing some house cleaning because they've made attempts to get the stream through the court process. The judge wouldn't grant their Rule 22s, uh, and I was hoping that this would be done in a professional fashion, but apparently, you know, dishonest people do dishonest things. I could simply be sitting in the courtroom right there with my COVID mask on, and it could just be that. So right now, this is just preliminary stuff. You're not really missing much right now. These are the jury instructions that will go back to the jurors that they're going over now, just trying to ascertain whether or not what is going to be allowed to go back to the what's going to be instructed to the jurors before they uh, after they do their closing arguments. I'm in the Atlanta area. So the young man uh that has reached out to me to communicate, I don't mess with messy people, so if you're doing messy stuff, I'm not really gonna rock with you. I'm not rocking with you at all. So and you should have did your homework like Nika Knight did. She did her homework. She reached out months ago. You should have did your homework. It's not that hard. You just gotta do research. See, the problem is people like to be lazy. They like to cheat. They don't want to do it in the fashion in which you should do it in order for you to be able to, have access to certain things. So don't get mad at the player. Get mad at the game. He's he's saying I'm grifting, but he's stealing my content. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Who's Sugar Love? Send me the link to her page, please. You can send me a DM at on Instagram or Twitter at Mr. Dennis Byron, and I'll send it to a counsel and let them just strike the page. Just send it to me. That's all. And I don't take strike. I had 9 channels taken down last year. 9 channels. I never told you the channels, but 9 channels I had taken down last year. 9 channels. 9 channels. Yeah, absolutely. I don't even mention the channels because they know they're not there anymore. Just send me the link. Just send me the link. Send me the link, ladies and gentlemen. We just lost the stream. We lost the stream. Dawn. We lost the stream. Wow. We lost the stream. Psych. Let me bring it back. Let me bring it back. Stand by. Bring it back. Okay. See, here's okay. Here's the problem for that individual. Because we're gonna go back and strike the page anyway. We're gonna go back. We're gonna show them the court order, and then we're gonna strike the page, and they're gonna lose their channel. They're gonna, why are you doing that? Because the judge didn't approve you. That's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm doing that. You've been starting fights and picking on people, picking with people, and doing the weird stuff. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. You know, no one's taking you serious right now. Just DM me or send me through Twitter or Instagram his link, and let me just forward to the attorney. That's all. We'll just do it that way. I'm standing on business. I'm watching what's happening right now. I can see in the background what's happening in the courtroom right now. I'm watching. I can tell you the lawyers are at the podium right now. Thanks for sending me the link. Let me play Houdini. Someone said, but Byron's still in the link. Well, if I'm still in the link, then show your link. Where's your link at right now? Show me your link. I got my link. Where's your link at? I'm still in link. Show okay. Put the court proceedings out right now. If I'm still in the link, come on. Let me see you do one of these. Let me see you do one of these. Let me see you do one of these. Ha ha. Oh my goodness. Where's your link at? Okay. There's nothing happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is a sidebar conversation. Uh, that's all. We just waiting here. We just gonna have a little fun here. Thanks for sending me the link. We're gonna look at the okay. Hmm. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Oh, listen, Akeisha Al-Shabazz is okay. She is an attorney, and she is a very good one, and she's my friend. She's my friend. And she be putting that. Listen, she put that paperwork on you in a minute. Like see about that business. Yeah, she's good. Attorney Akeisha El-Shabazz is good. Thank you for sending me that. She's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see who else we got. Okay, I appreciate TCH. Shout out to TCH. I'm shouting people out. Shout out to TCH. Okay, someone just sent me this live. Thank you. Okay. They're still doing sidebar, ladies and gentlemen. I'm watching the sidebar. I guess that person said I'm still in the link. They can't see what I see right now. I'm watching the sidebar. Okay, hold on. Okay. So Sugar Love, what are you doing, Sugar Love? Sugar Love. Sugar Love, what are you doing, Sugar Love? Sugar Love, what are you doing? Sugar Love, show me some love, Sugar. Show me. Show me some love, Sugar.
No, y'all going to different places. The only one left to be arrested is her. She was the catalyst of this whole thing.
Listen to Sugar Love. We're gonna have a little fun here.
They got them for perjury or even just talking to him.
Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. What do we have going on here? Hold on. Nothing happening. Nothing happening. Okay. And someone send me Donat's link to his YouTube. DM that to me because I haven't received that yet. Send that to me, please. Now, this young man's reached out to me probably last year. I have not communicated with this individual. Let's see here. Akeisha Al-Shabazz is good to go. She's good money. Let's see here. I'm going to go through the list. I'm watching the court. Don't worry, you're not missing anything, ladies and gentlemen. You're not missing anything. You take my word, you're not missing anything. I'll show you. I'll show you, ladies and gentlemen. They still sidebar. So I'm still the link, but I have control over the link. What's going on? Let me say something. Neek at Night, and it's probably 1, 2, 3, 4 others that I know of that obviously has access. That has access right now. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to be in the courtroom for sentencing, and I'm going to be in the pause. If there's a conviction, I'm not saying for sentencing. If there's a conviction, I'll be in the courtroom. If not, I'll be outside, getting his reaction when he walks free. Either way, I will be on the ground, and I will bring the live camera to get you a live reaction in the street. Listen. I'm not going to make people pay for the mistakes of a few, but I need for you guys to go ahead and help me out so we can keep the integrity of this stream going. Hold on. Okay, so we got his page. We have his page. Let me grab the link. This is not how you handle your business, Mr. Did Not Show. You don't handle business like that, sir. You don't handle your business like that, sir. Okay, I have his page up here. Okay. So this is the page here. That's the guy right there. That's the culprit. I'm snitching. So listen. Listen, it's hilarious. He's sitting there waiting for me to. He's on his platform waiting for me to start streaming. Let me see. Let me block him on all platforms. Okay. Okay, so let's see what we'll do here. Okay. Yep, y'all can blame Donat for me ending the stream early. Blame him. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can blame him for not seeing full coverage, gavel to gavel, because of individuals like this. For individuals like this is why we can't do gavel to gavel coverage for individuals like this.
Oh my gosh, this is horrible. He's objecting
Guys, let me go ahead and put a overlay on the stream, and then uh hold on a second. Wait up. Let me see what I can do about a watermark real quick, guys. Hold on. Let's see what I'm gonna do here with the watermark here. Put the watermark here. Hold on. Let's see here. Oh.
And I think it's not as straightforward or commonsensical of a charge than some crimes that we prosecute, but false imprisonment, the elements of that crime, the judge will tell you, are in violation of the liberty of another person, confining or detaining that person, and without legal authority. So we'll again take those one by one.
All right, guys. I'm gonna let you guys. This is a closing arguments. This is closing arguments. State goes on first.
The defendant wouldn't allow Janae to leave. And I want to pause here again for a second. In charging and proving false imprisonment in this case on these facts, what you've heard the last 2 weeks, the state is not alleging in the abstract that she was never allowed to leave the house. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying that she wasn't allowed to leave. We're saying in that moment, once she went up to that bedroom, he physically took hold of her and would not allow her to leave, even though she said, "No, I have to leave," so many times she couldn't remember how many times. That's the moment of the false imprisonment. It's not this abstract idea that, well, she was so attached to the group, she wouldn't be allowed to leave. It was, no, we are charging in that moment, in the room, she was not allowed to leave. And false imprisonment, there's no time element to it. The judge isn't going to tell you if you find that she's held for 30 seconds or a minute or 5 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour. There's no minimum amount of time. Because the injury is the violation to their liberty. People are allowed to come and go where they want within the house they're living in. And he can't just hold her in the room because he wants that opportunity to convince her or bully her or badger her into getting what he wants. She had every right to leave. If she wanted to go upstairs and say goodbye and then walk right back down the stairs and leave, she can. But he didn't let her. Confines or detains that person. Again, he would not allow her to leave. That's the detaining. In this case, not allowing movement, not allowing her to exit that room. Remember the testimony that he closed the door. Kendra said they went into that room, the door closed. Janae said he closed the door, it was between me and the door. He was holding her. He would not allow her to leave. And without legal authority, so that applies more to like police officers. Obviously, they have legal authority to detain folks if there's probable cause that they committed a crime. Also, sometimes you get like the shoplifting situation where an employee of like Target sees someone taking something and they may have, under certain circumstances, legal authority to detain somebody. But there's nothing like that in this case. So if you believe the defendant, Legio Bishop, would not let Janae leave the room that night, find him guilty of count 2, false imprisonment. I'm going to call counts 3 through 5 the revenge porn statute. That's what it is. On the indictment, it's listed by its long name, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions. It criminalizes the posting of revenge porn, so we'll call it revenge porn. it has a lot of elements. So follow on. Knowing the content of the transmission, so you know what you're posting, and we'll go through them again one by one. Without the consent of the depicted person, so the person shown in the video, electronically transmit causes the transmission or posting of a video depicting sexually explicit conduct of an adult. No kids involved in this case since they're having sex in the videos. The transmission is harassment, and it serves no legitimate purpose. Again, we'll take these one by one. Knowing the content of the transmission, again, there's no suggestion that anyone was unaware of what was in these. These were sex videos, and they were uploaded. Without the consent of the depicted person. All right, the moment that matters is the moment it's posted online. All three of the videos that were body camera videos showing the Twitter video, I'm sure that you all remember having to watch those. They were all three posted on March 27th. Janae was not in the group or in any sort of contact with Mr. Bishop on March 27th. She did not give her, she testified over and over again, she did not give her consent for those videos to be posted on March 27th. Even if she consented to it being filmed. Even if someone, take it outside of this case for a second, even if someone sends an intimate photograph of themselves to a loved one, to a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, they end up, that relationship doesn't work out for whatever reason, but that person to whom that photograph was sent decides to post that photograph online. The question isn't, did the person who sent it consent back when they sent it originally, right? The question is, did that person, the supposed victim in that case, consent to ex-boyfriend uploading it to the internet? That's where the harm is. That's where the consent goes. It doesn't matter that she consented to that sex being filmed originally. What matters is she didn't consent to being harassed by it and having folks be like, hey, did you go back to the group because I saw that you and Luigi are back doing whatever. That's where the harassment comes in. Because now there's this confusion and there's just the humiliation and embarrassment that both Janae and Velvet had to describe of having that out there. I don't really even think there's much dispute here. There was not consent. There's really no hint of consent for these photo videos to be posted on March 27th, which is the date they were posted. Electronically causes a video to be posted or transmitted. It was uploaded and shared on Twitter, which is an electronic message board, technically a website. It's an electronic means of transmitting something to other people. And causes, we asked pretty much all of the former members, did anything get posted on Mr. Bishop's account without him having caused it? And the answer was unanimous. No, he was in charge of that. Maybe Loyal and some other folks had, access and helped him out with his social media stuff, but he was the driving force. Nothing got posted without it having been caused by him. The videos obviously depicted sexually explicit conduct of an adult. I think also the harassment isn't really an issue. Obviously, she was harassed, and there's really no other purpose for these videos to have been posted, especially of her just 3 days after she left. You heard Velvet's testimonies. Serves no legitimate purpose. This is an exception for if there's medical diagrams or teaching instruments, things of that nature that need to be shared for one reason or another, and there is some legitimate purpose for this images that otherwise may be sexual in nature. Yeah, this wasn't for science or medicine. All right, so on the counts 3 through 5, there's 3 different counts because there's 3 different videos. There are technically 4 posts, but 2 of them were the same videos, which are 3 different videos. They're separated in the indictment by their length. So 56 seconds, 28 seconds, and 1 minute and 8 seconds. That's what separates count 3 from count 4 from count 5. And there are 3 separate charges because there is a separate harm, there's a separate injury each time, there's a separate humiliation each time somebody posts a separate video. Do you believe the defendant caused the posting of these sex videos of Janae without her consent and with the purpose to harass her, then find him guilty, counts 3 through 5, the revenge porn. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for the first part. Mr. Booker will address you now. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep, you sure can.
Okay, so there's his closing. Now the defense has opportunity closing, and then the prosecution comes back and do their, I guess, their rebuttal to the defense's closing.
Tell me when you're there. There you go. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're here to decide the case of the state of Georgia versus Elijah Bishop. Elijah Bishop, we started this case a few days ago, last week sometimes, and we're here finally at the conclusion of the case. And so just like across this courthouse, across this city, there are jurors sitting to decide issues, whether it's an issue regarding a fence line, or whether it's about probate, or whether it was a car accident. Your job in this case is to determine whether the state wins or whether Mr. Bishop wins. And it's an important, bless you, it's an important decision for you to make. That's why when you come in the courtroom, we stand up. Because despite the fact that Judge Hodrick is Superior Court judge, and these are 2 very fine, smart lawyers here, we stand up because you are the most powerful people in this courthouse. Your decision impacts people that are in this county and in this city. And so we're going to ask, as you go back to deliberate and you consider this case, that you use your power and wield your power appropriately. Now, last week, we were here, you guys were out there, you were in a big group of folks, and you heard the judge read an indictment. And in that indictment, the very first charge was the charge of rape. And so I do this for a living. I'm a defense attorney, okay? I sit over there with people and I look up at the people that are there to decide. And the question that happens in my mind is, what exactly are they thinking when they hear the word rape or murder or something significant like that? Because many times we've already made decisions about people. We've already made a decision. You're charged with it, good enough for me. And so there it goes. The case is gone. You're already starting from behind. And that's why when we asked if you felt like you could be fair and impartial in a case, you felt like you would be able to look at the evidence and not make it a decision just based on the fact that there was a camera in here and that he was charged with this charge. And so the state questioned you, I question you, and we believe that you guys were the best group out of the people that were here. You were the best, that you would be fair and impartial, that you would listen to all the evidence, that you wouldn't make a decision before all the evidence was closed. And so that's why you're here on the jury, because we didn't believe you were going to go on a witch hunt, that you were going to make a decision just because Mr. Bishop was charged with the charge of rape. And I put rape up there because obviously it's the most significant of the charges that we have here. Now, in a case, there's a couple types of evidence. There's direct and circumstantial evidence. The judge was going to give you some instructions on the law, but direct and circumstantial evidence, there's 2 types. There's direct evidence, means that you have proof of something tangible right in front of you. And then there's circumstantial evidence. She will explain the difference in both of the 2. Now, there's no legal difference in which of them you can have a conviction on direct evidence or on circumstantial evidence, but I would argue that this is a circumstantial evidence case. Now, the judge is also going to tell you, though, that for a circumstantial evidence case, the state must exclude every other reasonable theory other than the guilt of the defendant. That means that the state has a burden not only to prove the defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but they must exclude every other reasonable theory of innocence. And I'm questioning for you is, has the state in this case proven or that every other reasonable theory of innocence is not true? They have not. They have not. Now, credibility of witnesses, I'm going to skip through because the state gets up. They're the government. They can get up and start. I jump in the middle, and then they get to come back and tell you how I'm wrong. And so I only have so much time, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on every single piece of it because the credibility of witnesses section, you're going to get from the judge, okay? But you can consider credibility of witnesses. And what I like to use for credibility of witnesses is I have two children, Hannah and Justice. They're my children. 16 and 10, they're most important. If you show up at my house and you say, well, you're going to be the caregiver of my children, okay? And you tell me one day that I did this is my background experience. And then the next day you say, you come in and you tell me something different, you're not keeping my kids because I can't trust what you say. Trusting what you say means you tell me something on Monday, when you come back on Tuesday, it's the same thing. And so I'm asking, when you look at the credibility that you have been given from that witness stand, it's not what I said, it's not what the state said, it's not what the judge said. The credibility comes from the witnesses. Have you been satisfied that Miss Newell, as she got up there, that you're satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that you can trust what she's saying? That's what you have to determine. Now, presumed innocent. Defendant is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So simple, not a complicated thing. I'll use the same example I had when I was in law school. Professor comes in on the first day of school of the class, criminal law 101. I am scared to death. There's 150 other students in here. 149 of them are way smarter than I am, and they should be there, and I should. That's exactly what I'm sitting there thinking. And the professor goes up front, and I'm praying to God, please don't let him ask me anything. But he gets up there and he says, ladies and gentlemen, this is a presumption of innocence. He's wearing a jacket. And he simply just makes this really weird argument, but it's actually true. Person comes in, they're presumed innocent. This is the cloak of innocence. Until the state has removed this entire jacket all the way off the person, they remain innocent until the state has proven them guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Mr. Bishop is still wearing the jacket. The state has not removed the jacket. When you look at this case and you go in the back, Mr. Bishop is still wearing his jacket because the state has not met their burden. They are the government. They're the ones who had access to these phones. They're the one who had access to all hundreds of thousands of videos. When you look at the evidence in this case, when you consider the evidence in this case, this is what we have as far as evidence. We have a case that's a rape case where these people were online every single day for years. Don't you think that if people were online every single day for years, they're on social media, they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, and there's not one picture, not one single picture of a woman with a physical injury, not one video of somebody being slapped, but they're telling it because they want you to believe it. They've given it to you. You are the deciders in this case. If they got it, why don't they show it to you? Because they don't have it. It doesn't exist. They want you, he gets up here and tells you, oh, it's not because he's in a cult. They're so interested because it's not because he's in a cult. He's in a cult. The entire case has been about anything other than March 24th, 2022. We've had 3 other girls come in here and tell us that he supposedly raped them because they don't want you to look at the case. They want you to look at other things. Look at other things because if you look at those other things and you don't like them, you're going to convict them. That's the whole objective. Now, he's presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the state's burden. No person shall be convicted of any crime unless and until every element of the crime is proven beyond a reasonable doubt, and the burden rests upon the state to prove every material allegation. And I'll go through the same way they did because I have to cover the argument and the law, but I'll go through the elements. But long story short, they have to prove the elements of rape. That's what they have to prove. They have to prove the elements of false imprisonment. They have to prove the elements of revenge porn. And we'll go through that. Now, before I was an attorney, this is my 14th year as an attorney. I was a school teacher for 7 years. I have a bachelor's and master's in education from the University of Florida. And so when I was a teacher, I loved it. It was great. But there would be afternoons at 2 o'clock when you got a bunch of 4th graders standing in front of you in Gwinnett County. You didn't know why you did it, but you loved it. They were very special children, nothing more unique and more powerful than kids in my mind. But one of the things I would ask the kids at the first beginning of school is, what's the most important ingredient in chocolate cake? I bet you don't know what the most important ingredient in chocolate cake is. It's chocolate. Can't have chocolate cake without chocolate. Unfortunately, kids will spend a lot of time bubbling around and say, cake mix, whatever. In this case, there is no important ingredient. The state must prove every single element of rape to you beyond a reasonable doubt. And again, the burden of proof is on the state. It never switches to us. It's not on Mr. Bishop. Okay? It's not on Mr. Booker. It's on the state. They brought this case. They charged it. Please don't lighten their burden. They must prove that he's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And the judge will tell you that after considering if your minds are wavering, unsettled, then that is a doubt of the law. Use your common sense in this case and acquit Mr. Bishop. Now, prior statements, the judge is also going to read you instruction about prior statements. If a person is given a prior statement and they give a different statement later, you can consider that for purposes of credibility of a witness. Now, jumping to the point, Janae Newell, she says she's at the house on March 24th or March 25th, 2022. That's what she told you. That's uncontroverted. She says that she meets with the DeKalb officer, Hugh, I believe. I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name. And she also does an interview with the T. You've heard a lot about the T. I'm sure the T is going to be super popular after this. They're actually here in the courtroom today. She meets with the detectives, and she's interviewed in Fayetteville. They go out there. She gets pregnant months later by
shameless plug for the T.
Townsend. And then she's interviewed by the DA's office here in this year, in February. And then she gives you testimony in court. And so I want to run through those real quick. So the first one is the first prior recorded statement of Janae Newell with this officer. She called police and she told police that this was revenge porn. This again goes back to credibility. It goes back to credibility. The first thing she told them was, hey, there was revenge porn that happened to me. This was on March 30th, 2022. She never said anything about it. Okay? Never said that. And in that interview that was recorded on body camera by the investigator, by the police officer, the state has not played that one single time. What is in that interview that you don't need to see? Why is that not played? Again, it's not Mr. Booker's burden to play any of the investigators for you.
This is a Hip Hop Inquirer exclusive.
When they get up here to close, when Ms. Thomas gets up, ask her why. Why hasn't the state played that evidence for you? The 20 minutes, because he was up here, the witness was up here, they could have put it in for him. Why didn't they play it? Again, it's sometimes evidence and sometimes it's lack of evidence. But the first statement that she gave was that she'd been a victim of revenge porn. She described Mr. Bishop as her boyfriend, and she was interviewed on body cam. Doesn't describe rape, doesn't describe fighting, doesn't describe false imprisonment, none of those things. It does she describe. Second time is the T interview. She goes on YouTube. There's a 6-hour-long interview on YouTube. 6 hours.
There will be a clean video after this case is over.
I go to visit my mom sometimes. She lives in Jacksonville. It takes us 5.5 hours to get there. We don't drive in Vegas, probably takes way too long. But we get there. My wife may say something to me between here and Valdosta, or Macon rather. She may say something else a little further on. We've been married for 24 years. Nobody talked for 6 hours about anything. But they talk for 6 hours about Mr. Bishop. None of that's played though. And when I'm trying to introduce it in evidence, obviously they don't want you guys to hear it. But she indicated in court that she was being truthful in this interview, is what she said. Now, what she also told you was, well, I was still under the influence. In 2022, I was trying to protect him, is what I was doing. You can't be one or the other, okay? Or you have to take one or the other. But think about this. If she was trying to protect him in 2022, and then she was still under the influence of the cult, why is it in 2024, when the DA's office interviews her and she's preparing for this trial, why in the world does she say to them that he said to me, can you do it one last time? And what her response was, okay. That's what she told them. Ask them why they haven't told you that. Because would she still be under the influence in 2024? I wouldn't think so. Because she wasn't under influence then, she was being truthful. She describes in detail what happened on March 24th. She doesn't describe her rape. She doesn't describe being fearful of being falsely imprisoned or any of those things. Again, this is still the interview. These are some of the statements she made. Baba G, how you pronounce that, which was Elagio, would have never treated me this way. You bitches are jealous. Excuse my language, mom. But that's what she said. Uncontroverted. She looked Elijah in the eyes, and me being dumb, I got manipulated back in. I couldn't resist him in that moment. Not that he beat me or I was scared that some woman was going to do something to me. That wasn't said. Never was said. I was really vulnerable, and he knew exactly what to say to make me stay, and we made love in that moment. Those are her words. It's uncontroverted. That's what she said. But maybe she was under the influence. That's what the state wants you to believe, that she was under the influence of Mr. Bishop. He was so powerful. I wanted dick in that moment. That is so crass to say, but I'm sorry. I wanted dick in that moment, but I was stupid, and what I really needed was uncontroverted. That's what she said. If she didn't say it, the state would have put it in and said, hey, do you remember Mr. Booker asked you this? Did you really
This is a Hip Hop Inquirer exclusive.
They haven't shown you that. And is that how somebody describes when they're being raped? No, it's not. More on the TV interview. I didn't want to resist him. Letting him manipulate me, I'm a sucker for fucking love. I felt like he was faking it to just keep me. Why in the world would he be faking it? You're faking being with somebody, yet you're raping that person? That doesn't make any sense. Then she gives an interview with the detectives. They played Mr. Bishop's interview for you, but why didn't they play Ms. Newell's video for you? Why didn't they play that for you? What did she say to the detectives? The same detectives that was up here. She interviewed with them too. That's because she describes making love throughout the interview. She never uses the word rape. It's not until 20-something minutes into the interview that he asked her, well, maybe, would you really want to do it? It's not a discussion about rape. The detective introduces that idea to her mind. But the detective who was even there wasn't even called as a witness. They had two detectives there, a male and a female. But they put the female up. And you can tell how prepared she was. She didn't even know what she'd done as far as an investigation. Did you see when you ask her a simple question? Well, did you get this text message from such and such? Wouldn't you expect that people who are police officers, when they're making life-altering decisions for people in this case, in this state that we live in this county, they are responsible for it. They're making life-altering decisions, life-altering investigations that they can't even remember when you pick up the text message here. These emails here that she had, that she's emailing with the T, that she wouldn't know that the messages came from the T. Oh, I got it from Kelly Johnson's phone. Oh, no, I got it from the Terry's phone. No, you didn't. And you're up here under oath. Wouldn't you be more prepared to know what you did and what you didn't? I mean, it's a life-altering decision for Mr. Bishop. And despite whether you like Mr. Bishop or not, okay, because obviously there's apparently people that don't. And I really don't care if you like him or not. I don't have to like him. None of us have to like him. It doesn't matter. This is about the law and whether or not the state has proven him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It's a character assassination ultimately, but that's not what you're here to decide. Trial preparation, meeting with the DA's office this year. Now, this one, surely she's going to use the word rape. She has to. I mean, of course, she's not going to come in here and not use the word rape. She's not going to say that, avoid it here, because then she's going to be in front of the whole world. She's in front of you guys. She's caused all that to happen. She's not going to say something different here. But in trial preparation, one last time and okay. Really? One last time? Okay. I don't think so. That's not rape. And nothing with them about force. Hey, I said okay because I knew he was going to beat the crap out of me if I didn't have sex. I had seen him beat up a bunch of women because they didn't have sex with him. That's not what she said. That's not the evidence in the case. That's what the state wants you to think, but they produce zero evidence of it. Please be from Missouri. Be from the show me state. Make them show you evidence. Don't just go back there and be okie doke because they told you, or because you don't like Mr. Bishop, or because the camera's here. Make them show you evidence. So, what actually happened? There was a disagreement in the group between the girls. You heard that. She described that she went upstairs at least twice. You don't really even get to compare her statements, all because you don't have her statements in evidence. You don't really know what she previously said other than what I got to ask her because we couldn't play it for you. And they didn't want to play it for you. But consider all that. This is what she ultimately said. She went upstairs at least twice. When she went upstairs the first time, Malia, who's the queen, told her to go downstairs. Because that's really what this case is really about anyway. And she admitted, hey, I want to be the queen. I want to be the queen. Too many women. My mom used to tell me that my middle name is Lamar. Lamar, you have one girlfriend. My dad would say the same thing. One girlfriend. It is hard enough to keep one woman, and I mean this in the nicest way, satisfied. I've been married to my wife. My wife's from Jamaica. Been married to her for 24 years. She is a wonderful woman. But I can tell you, I couldn't have even another half. I have 2 other people in the house that are women too. A 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. It's hard enough for me when it's enough estrogen in the house for me that sometimes I need to go sit on the back. Because it's just all too much. It's too much drama. I go here, oh, here comes somebody. I go there. It's so much drama. This dude has all these women around that he's having sex with. There's going to be some problems. But she admitted on the stand that she wanted to be the queen because she can show them how it's done. She could do it better than Malia. There was a pageant. The lady told her this day there was some sort of pageant. And that Ms. Newell said, Elijah said that she could be queen. So this further upset her. And she ultimately goes outside. She wants to be the queen. They say, hey, Baba G, God, whatever the world they call them, hey, he wants you to come back inside. And she does. Isn't that what you do, that you go outside when you're trying to get away from somebody? You know, in the movies, when you go this weekend, you can talk about the case, and this case is finally over. Okay? And you're watching a scary movie. Okay? Some scary movie watching on.
Assuming the case is over by the weekend.
Goes to the door. She's running through the woods. The bad dude, you know, is running behind her. Do you think she's gonna stop? Because she's seen this before. He's coming with a chainsaw. He's got a mask on, or whatever it may be. He's scary. Okay? Is she gonna stop and call an Uber? Hey Uber, can you please come pick me up? Because I'm scared to death this dude is gonna get me. It's not like I can just walk out and leave if I'm so scared. It's not like I can leave. Because would you wait for an Uber if you were afraid of somebody? I wouldn't. And what I wouldn't do, I wouldn't wait for an Uber, but what I also wouldn't do is get all the way outside to the Uber and say, oh, I'm gonna go back inside. And go all the way back upstairs. I wouldn't do that because I'd be too scared. Because I've seen a whole history of violence. That's what they told you. It's been a whole history of violence. So, but no, I'm outside. I got my bag packed. I can get the heck away from this dude. But oh yeah, let me go back inside and say goodbye. It's fine. I'm gonna just go back inside and say goodbye because it's all good. Just use your common sense, ladies and gentlemen. She wants to be with him. It's evidence, which is also uncontroverted. The state is putting in nothing to show that this phone call right here, that there's no prior phone calls to. State's Exhibit 2, that you heard from Miss Eva Wilson, that she called Elijah O. Bishop after March 24th, 2022. Said, hey, Mr. Bishop, she wants to be with you again. She wants you to get in contact with her. This is uncontroverted. If it wasn't his phone number, don't you think these really good and really smart lawyers would have told you, hey, that's not Mr. Bishop's phone number? But they didn't tell you that. That's because this lady contacted her. She has no reason to come in here and lie. She is here on Zoom because she came here the other day and we couldn't finish. But she has no reason to lie. She don't know Bishop. She don't know this lady that well. She knows her because she came and stayed in her house. But if she had a bone to pick with her, why would she allow her to stay in her house, read tarot cards or whatever that stuff is to her, and then come in here and lie?
Is Booker cooking?
The state hasn't proven she has a motive. The state hasn't proven that she's lied. That's uncontroverted that lady called Bishop on behalf of Miss Newell. If somebody raped you, why in the world would you be calling? Why would you call and say, hey, I want to be with you again?
Where did all this fire come from?
The detectives already said these text messages came from a certain location that we know is not true. Not going to spend a lot of time on that. Text messages came from the T. Okay, you heard that the T doesn't particularly like Mr. Bishop. How did the T even get the text messages? Why would they have the text messages? I don't know. It wasn't until I was sitting at home one day and I decided, let me look at these text messages again. And I looked at the very top and I remember the young lady saying, that it was a long time between messages. But these say 11:51, 11:51, 11:51, 11:52, 11:53. That's not a long time. That's like 2 minutes.
For the true supporters, I am leaving this up like this. For the true supporters, y'all know what it's about.
Somebody must have taken pictures of the text messages and they sent it to the T. And then I started looking and I said, that seems odd. Why would the T have text messages? And here's an email chain between the detective that testified and the T. Hey, by the way, here's some text messages from the T for Mr. Bishop. You can get him. It proves your case. oh, by the way, here's some videos from the T. It proves your case. Please consider all that.
So the YouTuber
Why
is
didn't Kelly
the
Johnson
state's
just tell the
witness
truth that she
or evidence,
gave
or
us text messages?
I don't know.
I mean, is that credibility? Is that an issue? What else was in their phone? I mean, was there more messages in the phone? We'll never know. The state never showed it. We don't have that. The detective interviewed Janae again. Did they really go out? Two detectives go all the way out to Fayetteville because they believed that this was just revenge porn? Because that's all she had reported at this point was revenge porn. She hadn't said anything about rape. The two detectives leave here in DeKalb County, go out to Fayetteville. They were there for what they believed was more. They were after Elijah Bishop. And so at that point, he suggested her that, hey, maybe he raped you. But you'll never get to hear that because we can't play that for you. Now, they did a search warrant at the residence. They searched 11 devices. What did those 11 devices show? You know from me asking the detective that there were hundreds of thousands of photos and videos. You know that the subpoena power of the court, that these lawyers right here, who are very, very good lawyers, who work for an extremely good district attorney's office. This is one of the best prosecuting offices.
Hey, stop kissing up now. Just do your job.
That they know how to get videos from YouTube, videos from Instagram, evidence off these phones. If there was a single video that existed, they would have got it and showed it to you. Where is it at? Ask her when she gets up, because she's about to get up in a minute, and she's going to say, Mr. Booker, he told you a lot of wrong things. I'm going to correct it. And I respect it. She's a very good lawyer. I've known her for a long time. She's going to do her job.
Stop the co-signing.
Not wrong, because they don't have it over there in that pile of evidence.
This is war.
Why is it not for you to consider? We don't know what the devices show. They did a search warrant for physical evidence in the house, and the detective said that she told the crime scene folks what to check for and what not. And then Ms. Thomas got up and said, well, you know, you'd expect his DNA to be on the bed. Okay, great. You did, but I mean, if there was a rape took place or there was some physical evidence, why didn't they even check it? We got the GBI crime lab to determine if something like that happened. They didn't do that. Mr. Bishop's interview, he invited the police to go through his phone. He gave them the code to his phone. He described why she would be upset. You don't have any evidence that contradicts what he said. The phone that they had, they didn't even look at it. He gave them the passcode to all 11 devices. I thought if there was something bad in there, where do you have it? I generally am not giving people the ability to check my phone. Now that I have something bad on, I don't want people looking through everything I got.
We need to see Mr. Booker's phone.
There were 10 people in the house. Why didn't they search and interview those people? You've heard from some of them today. And they tried to contradict, oh, this is the first time you've ever told anybody about this. You know, look at you, young lady. You've never. This
is a Hip Hop Inquirer exclusive.
But the fact is, nobody's ever asked. They've never called them and said, hey, by the way, what was your position on this? The police have never interviewed them. So Ms. Wade, Ms. Buckner were neither weren't interviewed. Who was in fact interviewed? Because they said they interviewed 4 people. Who was the 4 people that interviewed? Where's that evidence at? The detective said we interviewed 2 guys and 2 girls. Where's that at? Who was it? We don't know. What did they learn from it? I don't know. I mentioned you should be from Missouri. I know we're all Georgians. I was originally born in Mississippi. I lived in Florida for a few years. Never got the pleasure of living in Missouri, but I love when I see that plate, the show me state. There's a bunch of stories of what that really means. I won't waste your time on what that show me state means. But for me, I need you to not be from Georgia today. I need you to be from, unless you like football team, but Missouri's football team.
Enough with the jokes, man. Come on, stay on track, sir.
Be from the show me state. Make them show you the evidence. Make them prove it. They haven't proved it to you, though. Make them prove the evidence. Now, we have the allegations of revenge porn. I'm almost done. There were 3 porn videos shown.
Take a breather, sir. Take a breather.
Posted? And were they posted and taken down? If you recall, Ms. Newell said that she consented to them being posted at a given time. These videos were posted, reposted, taken down. I don't know, but have they shown it to you? I'm not the smartest person in the world, but typically, if I had porn from my wife, which we don't, but if I did on my phone and I
Sir, you're
posted it
telling on
social
yourself.
media, wouldn't it be on my phone? Wouldn't it be among those 11 devices that they said, oops, Mr. Bishop, we got you. Here it is on your phone that you just gave us a passcode to. It shows that you posted it to Twitter on this given day. That you in fact did, because it was your device, you had it. They didn't do that. Or did they get a search warrant from Twitter to say, hey, Twitter, what MAC address, what IP address, what location? Because this really good lawyer here, he talked about something called venue. Venue means that it happened within the county of DeKalb. So let's assume you do believe that Mr. Bishop posted revenge porn. Well, what evidence do you have that he was within the county of DeKalb when he did it? How do you know, if he did it, that he wasn't just making a loop around 285, going to see all these girls or to do all this fake ideology that he's got? Because what people say he's a fake. And
Wow.
he posted in Cobb County. Well, we don't have evidence of where it was posted. How about it could have been in Gwinnett County? We still don't have evidence because venue is the area where it actually happened. What evidence do you have? And I'm not advising you guys to go back in there and watch the videos because I did my best to eye bounce to not look at those disgusting videos. But I can tell you that when you look at the videos, if you have to look at them in the back, take a look and see if they've proven to you where they were posted at. What county? Because Twitter would have been able to tell you.
Please don't look at those videos. I saw those videos. Please don't look at them.
Now, allegations of physical violence. I'm going to run through this as quickly as I can. But logically, if there was evidence of physical violence, they would have shown it to you. They told you that she was beat up. They told you, she told you, she was body slammed. I mean, could you imagine being in a park with 15 people around you and you're being body slammed and kicked and punched that nobody ever noticed it? That these people, they were live on social media every single day, and the state did not go and get that evidence and say, see, here's the girl with the black eye. Here's the girl with the busted lip. Here's the girl with the busted nose. That all those videos that were posted, they would have done it. They didn't do that because it doesn't exist. And then the crime scene, obviously, there were no physical findings at the crime scene. They just want you to assume she said he raped me. He says he doesn't. You go with her because we have an expert that came in, Rick Ross, who tells you, well, he's in a cult and all those things. Because I wonder, you know, he said that there's a line of people there.
This is a Hip Hop Inquirer exclusive.
Because he's a cult leader, okay? He's a cult leader, and that's what it is. But we were worried about this. Well, if that was the case, why y'all call Rick Ross to the stand? What was the purpose of calling him? I mean, to me, he came to talk about cults. So if it really wasn't about that, then why'd y'all call him as a witness? I think you should ask her that when she gets up here. Why would you call Rick Ross as a witness if it's just about what happened on that day? Because it's not about just what happened on the day. The state wants you to look at everything else other than March 24th, 2022. When I got up here and opened the statements, I asked you to look at that date and focus on that date. It has been so hard to sit over there and listen to everything other than March 24th, 2022. But that's all you have to decide. That's all you have to consider in this case.
And I thought I was long-winded.
All right, physical evidence, there's no blood, there's no semen, there's no used condoms, no sheets, bedspreads, video evidence of physical abuse, photo evidence of it, phone messaging, threatening violence, hundreds of thousands of videos. Again, that stuff just doesn't exist. State wants you to look at other things. They want you to look at Breonna Jacobs. Breonna Jacobs said, hey, you know, he sodomized me, there was blood. But did you notice that Velvet Marquez did not tell the same story, and no other women have said anything about that at all? State doesn't want you to look at March 24, 2022. Kendra Carter, what supported her testimony? Velvet Marquez. It's so crazy they come in and say, we couldn't even use the bathroom. And we've studied this guy for all this time. Well, we couldn't use the bathroom. I mean, that's not really the right thing to say because you could use the bathroom. You the one chose to go to Costa Rica or Puerto Rico or whatever and go use the bathroom outside. That's your choice. And then you come in here because you just want to throw them under the bus. Oh, we can't use the bathroom outside. Oh, we couldn't even leave. You couldn't leave, but your dad comes down there and visits you 3 times in 1 year, and you left frequently. Don't look at March 24th. Portia Wade was one of the 2 young ladies here. She's known him for 6 years. She's never seen any physical violence perpetrated by him. She said that the crazy behavior online was for the wow factor. She was in the room when Bishop and Newell came in. Newell came in first, so that he wasn't pulling her in. They asked to be alone, and she spoke to Newell afterwards in the bathroom. Kayla Butler was the other young lady here. That's the one that you saw a picture of her and her mother here. She also has known the defendant for 6 years. Obviously, she had pictures with her mom, so her mom was around. She's never seen physical violence perpetrated. She was even friends with Miss Newell. Tell me what you can find in her testimony that was not believable. She described the specifics of Bishop and Newell being affectionate at the top of the stairs. She fell in his arms. She cried. Miss Newell describes the same thing in her interview, that she cried in his arms. And that she got the impression that Newell just wanted some attention, and she got that. Because she's like, ooh, girl, when she saw her afterwards. I can't do it quite as good as she did, but that's what she said. And she told Newell that Bishop would never treat me like this when they were fighting over a cell phone charger. So Rick Ross was the expert. He's the guy who got up here. And I'm not trying to minimize a high school diploma, because I told you I was born in Mississippi. I come from a father who was in the United States Army. My dad, he never had his high school diploma. He got his GED in the Army. But he came from a family of people that was something maybe you guys have never heard called sharecroppers. My grandfather was a sharecropper. And so my dad didn't have an opportunity to go all the way through high school because he had to go work for his family. They had to pick cotton. That's what was something they did in Mississippi, and raise crops. So to minimize Mr. Ross as an expert because he has a high school diploma and no further education, I'm not saying that he's not intelligent, because my dad is the most intelligent person that I've known, and he had no high school diploma. He got a GED. But Mr. Rick Ross is here to be an expert for you. And I know many of you guys are extremely bright, having high degrees and very extensive jobs. Think about what power he had as an expert, what he actually told you that was irrelevant. Because if they didn't make it about a cult, why was he even up there? Wheel of power, domestic violence. Again, this case is not about domestic violence. And that she was forced to have sex because she was afraid of physical abuse. Again, there's been no evidence of physical abuse. Witness in peace, the judge will explain what that means. But Janae Newell has given multiple statements. That's called witness impeached. And ask the state to play those statements for you. See what she recalls. All right. What's most valuable to you? Your family, your home, your health, money. When you consider this case, the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Elijah Bishop is guilty in this case. Well, for this case, what's most important to me is Elijah Bishop. He is the most important thing to me because he is my responsibility in this case. My job is to zealously defend. You think of the judge with two arms. The defendant's job is to zealously defend. That's my job. I'm an officer of the court. So Judge Hydrick is a wonderful and brilliant judge. I'm a right arm or a left arm, whichever one she wants me to be. And these two lawyers, they're the other side. Their job is to seek justice. My job is to zealously defend. So if I've said something during the trial that you don't like, I apologize. I'm doing my job. That's my obligation to my client. Okay? So don't hold it against my client if I argue too vehemently with a witness or you didn't like something I said. Please consider the case based on the evidence, not how you feel about me or whomever. But in this case, would you tie your health, your money, your family, your children, whatever it is most important to you, will you tie it to the evidence in this case? I would. Mr. Bishop is your most valuable asset in this case. What you're not to decide this case on is sympathy for Janae Newell, sympathy for Elijah Bishop. It has nothing to do with sympathy and not anything about Elijah Bishop and his teachings. Okay? Not about Elijah Bishop's teachings. The state will tell you that. It's not about that. Even though that seems so intertwined in this case, we can't get away from it. This is what you are to consider it on, and just to look at a couple of them. Conflicts in the testimonial evidence, missing or questionable evidence. Use your common sense and reasoning. Medical reports we don't have. There's no science in this case. Use the testimonial evidence that you have. Things upon it, I'm almost done. If the defendant was such a physical threat, what evidence of there does that exist? And if there were allegations by Janae Newell of him being physically violent, there would have been some evidence before now. Wade testified that she posted a video with her and the others in for sex education. That's for you to consider. Did she testify that Bishop had her to do this? No, she didn't. And if the state had video of Mr. Bishop somehow making these witnesses testify in some way as they tried to solicit from them, they would have played that for you. They don't have that. March 24th, 2022 is really what this case is about.
That's a good point. Where
And I
the
know I
jail
say I'm
phone
almost done
records.
a lot. I really am almost done. This text message, I think, is a really telling text message. This is the one that says, if, you know, why ask them for a ride? They're not going to take me. We know there were 2 cars there, but who is they? When I asked her who was they, she said, I need to go use the bathroom. Why does she need to go use the bathroom? Maybe she needed to come up with an answer for what that they pronoun meant for her. I don't know. But I couldn't imagine that I'm in a house where I've been a victim of physical abuse, violent abuse for so long. And the person that can get me out of here, and I asked the people who are the same folks I'm so afraid of, can you please go drop me off? That doesn't make any sense. Look at the text messages. Now, in Walmart, I worked in Walmart for a while, really cool place, Home Depot too. There's a big customer service place at the front. And if you go to Walmart and you buy a hammer you don't like, you buy
Shout out to Walmart.
shoes you don't like, you buy some bacon you don't like, you can always take it back. Okay? Because there's somebody there that'll take back things that you don't want. Okay? We don't have anybody to correct if you make a mistake in this case. That's why I'm asking you, when you deliberate, that you deliberate in a way that you consider each other's position, but you deliberate in this case seriously. Because every night, tomorrow night, Friday night, Dateline comes on, 2020 comes on Sunday. There's always a person who's been there. That this criminal case that they had, they've been in jail for 20 years, and all of a sudden they realize, maybe that person lied, or maybe there's some DNA that exists, or maybe something else. Okay? There's nobody that's going to come back and fix this if you are wrong. This is not Walmart. That's why you guys have the most important role in the courtroom. More important than Judge Hodger, more important than anyone else. Please do not let the fact that there's a camera here, that there's some outside interest in this case, influence what you do. Because in this world, it is so easy, so often, that we go and do what everybody else says to do. We don't stand up as an individual and say, hey, I don't agree with you. Everybody else, because if everybody else says Mr. Bishop is a cult, if everybody else says he's a wacko, he must be crazy. So as a result, we must find him guilty. Society wants us to find him guilty. We're just going to do their job for them. Please don't do that. He's already explained what rape means. That's what the judge is going to explain. Carnal knowledge, female forcefully against her will. Against her will means without her consent. 2022 to 2024, she's given the exact same description every single time, that they made love. There's 2 ends of a continuum. There is love making at one end of the continuum, and way down on the other end of the world. And the Bible says, it says, as far as the east is from the west, that our sins are forgiven, is what the Bible says. And I would say that this is extremely far. The east is from the west. I can't imagine how far that is. But love making to rape, they're not on the same line. But she described love making from 2022 to 2024. It's not until she came here in court that she said that he raped her. He did not rape her. He's not guilty of that. He did not falsely imprison her. I'm asking you to find him not guilty of that. He did not post revenge porn. I'm asking you to find him not guilty of that. I'm asking that his beliefs not be on trial. I believe in a holy God. Mr. Bishop is not God. God created the heaven and the earth that we're here right now. He ain't got nothing. Mr. Bishop has nothing to do with that. Now, their beliefs that we're all God, that's on belief. That's not what's on trial. What's on trial is whether on March 24, 2022, whether he raped this lady or not. And I'm asking you, as you go in the back and as you consider each other, that you consider that. Now, you guys are probably, you're very bright people. I know you're tired of listening. I'm almost sitting down. Mr. Bishop's not over there. Why is he not over there? Well, 2 days ago, we came here and the court had tested positive for COVID. Mr. Bishop was concerned about his well-being and about getting COVID. And so he elected to not be present here in court because he was concerned about getting COVID. We are all segments, different sections of the population. You guys are sitting here with this plexiglass between you. I don't know if that stops you from getting COVID. I just know a few years ago, millions of people were dying as a result, and he is not here as a result of that. So I'm asking you not to hold that against him. I'm asking you to decide this case based on the evidence that you have before you in this case. He said that she was bullied into sex, yet there's no evidence of that. That he was in a scenario where he intimidated her. She has never said a single word about being bullied into sex, about being intimidated into sex. There's been no witnesses that came forward and said that. Please, as you consider the evidence, please balance all those things. I say this and I'm going to go sit down. As an attorney, it's extraordinarily difficult to get up and argue in front of people, especially me. I'm an introvert. If it wasn't for the fact of me being here in this courtroom, you would never see me, because I'm the kind of person who goes into a room who doesn't want to. But I have to get up here and argue a case in front of people that I have no idea what you're thinking. I have no idea what you're feeling. But I owe an obligation to Elijah Bishop. I owe an obligation to the court to get up and argue a case. And it makes it really challenging to go sit down, because I know once I sit down, I never get to say anything else to you. But I want to tell you on behalf of Mr. Bishop, on behalf of myself, I appreciate every bit of opportunity it is to practice in front of you here. I enjoy what I do as a practitioner, but I appreciate the opportunity that I've had to practice in front of you guys. I appreciate the consideration in the case. And I ask that when you go in the back and that you consider this case, that you return a verdict of not guilty on behalf of each and every count. Be from Missouri. Be from the Shabazz. I'm not a woman. I don't know how it feels to be in a position where you would be raped. I could never understand that. But what I do understand here is that you are given a responsibility and a role here in DeKalb County. And your role is to stand here as a citizen of DeKalb County and determine whether or not the state has proven this case beyond a reasonable doubt. Beyond a reasonable doubt. Is there a reasonable doubt today in your mind that Mr. Elijah Bishop is not guilty of rape?
Thank you, sir. Take your seat, please.
That beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's when you go in the back and you decide who's going to be the foreperson, for a woman, for a man, whatever it may be. That you, whatever your position is, that you stick to that position and that you argue it vehemently, and that you don't give up on that position. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for your time. The state's about to come tell you how I'm wrong and all that stuff like that. But I appreciate the consideration and I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Mr. Coveney, do you need to be connected back to the computer? I'm sorry, Ms. Hummus. My apologies.
Put a 2 in the chat if you think that he did a great job. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he failed his client. Put 2 in the chat if you think Mr. Booker did a good job. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he did not.
It's not about winning. It's not about the state winning. It's not about Mr. Bishop winning. This case is about doing what is right. This case is about getting justice for Miss Newell. Now, Mr. Booker proposed a number of questions to you all. Ask Ms. Thomas this, ask Ms. Thomas that. Why didn't we play the body cam? Mr. Booker knows the rules of evidence. They say if a witness gives an inconsistent statement, you can play the prior statement. You know why that prior statement wasn't played? Because it wasn't inconsistent. She testified, yes, I said lovemaking. Yes, I said I wanted the deed. Yes, I said that. So that is the answer to your question. Mr. Booker is very skilled. He knows the rules of evidence. He knows what evidence is allowed. If that evidence was inconsistent or contradicted something Ms. Newell said, you would have heard it. It did not. So he started talking about reasonable doubt, or he left off talking about reasonable doubt. The judge will instruct you that reasonable doubt is the doubt of a fair-minded, impartial juror honestly seeking the truth. That's your job. You're truth seekers. You decide what happened March 24th, 2022. If you have a doubt, it must be based on common sense and reason. It's not a vague doubt. It's not an arbitrary doubt. It's also a doubt as to the elements of the offenses. So Mr. Coveney already went over the elements of rape, false imprisonment, the revenge porn. So if you have a doubt in your mind, it's got to be based on an element. It's got to be related to an element. So it's not a doubt as to, well, when did Brianna join the cult? That really doesn't matter. It's a doubt as to the element. So keep that in mind when you're thinking if you have reasonable doubt or not. So I like to give examples. I know reasonable doubt can be a difficult concept to grasp. So let's say my job was much more pleasant than it is, and I have to convince you that this image on the screen is a dollar bill. Now, there are pieces missing. In this case, there's no video of rape. Obviously, rapists don't record themselves sexually assaulting someone. There are pieces missing. I recognize that. No case is perfect. But if you look at this picture, you look at it based on your common sense, life experiences, you know that's a dollar bill. Just like in our case, you take a step back, you look at the picture as a whole, and context matters. That's why we presented, I think, 11 witnesses. Context matters. You look at the picture as a whole, you know what happened March 24th, 2022. So it seems like ages ago now that we picked you all, I believe it was last Wednesday, the 21st. And many of you had life experiences, or you knew someone who suffered a traumatic sexual assault. And all of you said, even though I carry that life experience with me, I can still be impartial. We went through hours of questioning you all. And every single one of you said, yes, I can be impartial. And if you sit here now and you feel like, and you believe Mr. Bishop is guilty, you have to ask yourself, what got you there? What got you from completely impartial last week to guilty this week? It's the evidence. Witness testimony, pictures, audio recordings, the defendant's videos. Evidence is what got you there. Like Mr. Coveney said, the testimony of a single witness, if believed, is sufficient to establish a fact. So while we don't have to prove corroboration, we do because it's helpful. But if Janae was the only person we called and she testified that this sexual assault, that this rape happened, and you believed her, you're authorized to convict. So the defense, there's a number of them. She's lying, she's inconsistent. As I mentioned, if there was something inconsistent in that interview with the T or her interview with the detective, you would have heard it. Videos, photos, audio recordings. Y'all think we've been here long now. Imagine if we played every single video this man has ever recorded. As Mr. Booker said, the state has the burden of proof in this case. It's our responsibility. Defense doesn't have to call a witness, doesn't have to produce evidence, but they have the same subpoena powers that we do. If there was something in Mr. Bishop's phone, on his YouTube, that exonerated him, you would have seen it. It doesn't exist. So the fact